Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So it goes out, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture. I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world. Anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful
love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, on a day. How's everybody doing? Good. All right, so I'm seeing. Let me see. Make sure that we're live. Hold on 1 second. All right, good. All right, looks like we're live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? On your way in, do me a favor, hit that like button. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, share and subscribe if you're coming here for the first time, brand new. Welcome. Life with Not Today here. What's going on? He said, I wanted to say today is boring, no live show. We did here now. What's going on? Toby, how you doing? Do me a favor, as you're coming in, let's ping everybody into the room. Hit that like button. Like. All right. We're going to do a very calm, relaxed, chillax reaction today. I'm going to be reacting to maybe about 3 videos, 3 in 1 video of a guy called the MTR. He claims it's not red pill, but he's red pill. He's full of it. But I promise today is going to be about relationships and marriage regardless. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Hit that like button as you're coming in. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Okay, from my Empire Pro Studios. Okay, this is Matter of Prestige. We'll talk about relationships from a power standpoint, self, social, emotional intelligence, seduction, and attraction. If we have time, we'll talk about marriage. But I promise it won't really matter much, because once you master those other things, marriage becomes super easier. Okay? All right. And if you haven't downloaded the book yet, the book is available. It's a book written by me and my wife. It's called Get My Marriage Back. It's also good for people in dating and marriage as well. It's a good way to prepare. So our life story is basically, well, not our life story, but it's our story. It's our love story, and everything from, all the struggles, ups and downs and stuff like that. You can find that in the book. You can find that at loveandprestige.com, and you can also join the 30-day boot camp over there. All right, I need to work on the chair. I was watching a little playback of the thing we did with my dad yesterday. Shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for people who supported doing that program with my dad. I was watching a little playback, and this chair kept making noise, so I need to replace that chair. All right, so all your support are absolutely welcome. Shout out to all the sponsors of the platform. Shout out to Richie, Chiri Mwaka, Life with Natu, Adesu, Daring, Film Girl, Open Floor with Tima, Show Mama, Gorex Corner, D Love, and to be everybody. Okay. Shout out to all of you. Mbasi, thank you so much. Thank you to Chinye. Thank you to those of you that are always here to support. I appreciate you. And all the day ones. Okay, I appreciate all of you. Okay, even if I didn't mention your name right now, I really do. If you want to join the notification gang, make sure I notify you personally when I come live. You can go to lolaanola.com/WhatsApp, or you can just send a WhatsApp text messages to 732-305-8577. We'll get you inside. All right, now we do have a show today. I do have okay, so my people are Halo. Yeah, are Halo. I thought I was somebody else, but yeah, good to see you all. So we're just gonna relax, hang out with me. If you have any opinions, anything like that, chime it in, put it in the comments. I'll respond to it as I'm reacting to this video. There's a video that was released. I saw it first on this guy. I do follow him. His YouTube name is what do you call him? MTR, mediocre tutorials and reviews. He's one of the guys with the largest platforms in the manosphere, red pill space and stuff like that. So they're always talking about relationships. Okay, they claim they're talking about something else, but it's a lie. They're talking about relationships and marriage, and they resent the fact that they can't really, they don't find it easy to marry, to find life partner. Okay, some of them resent the sad, unfortunate event of losing their family. It is what it is. Okay, so these are real events happening in people's lives. Okay, just want you to pay attention to that. Again, hit that like button. Let's turn up on the like button. Let me see. We're already missing about, no wonder the number is not increasing. Okay, we're already missing like about 5 likes. Turn up on that 5 likes, and let's ping everybody else into this room. It's gonna be, as usual, a very engaging session. Okay, we're gonna learn a lot today, and I watched some of it already, but I'm watching in real time with you. Okay, so don't stress it too much. It's gonna be fine. Feel free to support him because he's having conversations that we need to be fixing over here. Okay, and I want to also make an open invitation to people like MTR, people that are having these conversations. I'm open to the conversation. I just need one invitation. That's it. Okay, I will I will create room in my calendar and we can have the conversation. I think it's for the betterment of everybody. Okay, I think there will be casualties, both inside of marriage as well as in dating relationships, all of that. Okay, even in personal relationships such as between siblings, people are gonna collect first before they learn that all that gra is not gonna work. You just need to gra in either direction. Either you are reading too much or you don't read at all. Like gra in any dimensions, in any direction, like it's just gonna get worse. But if you just know that there are principles that guide what we love so much about relationships, I think you'll be fine. I think everybody will be fine. So shout out to everybody. Let's do this. Let me see. So this video right here, I'm gonna play the first video that created this uproar. Basically, a young lady who's getting married to a young man, and they got to the point where we say to love and to obey, and she had a difficult time saying to obey, and that's what this issue is about. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna play it. Okay, and then I want to see your opinions too as well. If you have opinions about this, let me grab it. Okay, all right, there you go.
For worse.
For worse.
For richer.
For richer.
For poor.
For poorer.
For worse. For better.
For better.
For worse.
For worse.
For richer.
For richer.
For poor.
For poorer.
Guys, truth be told, I don't.
So this is MTR right here. Okay, a young 38 years old. He's having a lot of conversations about relationship and marriage, but he's not married. He's never been married, from what I understand. Right? So he's having a lot of conversations around this. So we need to so you can see the title of this video actually says woman humiliates groom at altar, trigger warning. Come to find out that it looks like he's much more triggered than the husband, but we're gonna watch it together again, and then maybe he has a point. I do think he has a point, but it's more to it. It's more to it, right? Because whatever behavior we see among the men today, you've enabled it, ladies. Okay, one way or the other. Okay, indirectly, somehow you've enabled it, right? Whatever behavior you're seeing among the women today, gentlemen, you've enabled it one way or the other, indirectly. Even worse, you're probably perpetuating it with the way you react to issues. But hear me out, okay? We're going to talk about it.
Don't know what to say at this point. All right. Because I talk to you day in and day out about creating your own reality. As a man, you have to focus on creating a life for yourself.
So he said as a man. So he's only talking to men. Obviously, I talk to everybody here, right? So once you're on the internet, it's no longer a barbershop. Everybody is listening, okay? And especially if you have over 500,000 followers, then you will be held accountable, responsible for the kind of stuff you spew into the public, okay? It is what it is. So how would you be held accountable? I will react if I see that you're saying stuff. If I see you're saying good stuff, I will say yeah, but I probably won't react to it. Let's be clear, okay? But I will react to it if I feel like there's some negativity or there's some context we can add. And that's why we're here, okay?
Because if you allow other people to create it for you, then you will never be your most joyous or your most happiest. And in fact, you'll be living by the coattails of some reality that they created for you. Do you want to be a lemming or do you want to be a man? Y'all probably like, what the?
All right, so he's right. Whoever you are, as a human being, you have to create your own reality, okay? But you also have to respect the fact that you live in a society, okay? And there are rules that guide the society we live in. Oftentimes, you will find them saying, oh, you have to create your own reality, but then they will be disrespecting the social order of things, you know? Both men and women, they do the same thing, okay? They're extremely disrespectful to the principles that guide our world, okay? But at the same time, they're speaking from both sides of their mouth. And oftentimes, they will even point finger at me that I'm the one doing that. But, you know, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. But my father was here yesterday, and, you know, a lot of the stuff he was saying was pretty consistent with some of the stuff I've been saying, right? But I try to be consistent. But I'm human too, like everybody else. Some days I feel this way, the other days I feel differently, you know. But that's why we keep having the conversation. So he's right that you need to create your own, you know, but context is needed here, right?
Hell is good old MTR talking about? Well, I just uploaded something to my Instagram that I wanted to be able to go over. Now, these are real people at a real wedding exchanging real wedding vows. Pay attention to what happens during said vow exchange.
For better,
For better.
for worse,
For worse.
for rich.
Are you mad? Because I am. I'm mad about inflation. I'm mad about how the government has spent our money. I'm mad.
Richer,
For richer.
Vow exchange.
for better,
For better.
for worse,
For worse.
for richer,
For richer.
for poor.
For poorer.
She was okay with the for poorer thing. Yeah. You know, in fact, to be honest with you, some of the weddings I've been to in recent times, even at the poorer stuff, they pause for a second, like, wait, for poorer? Why? Right? I don't want to be poor, but it's banters, it's jokes. It's kind of funny, but not really, okay? Because these are real people's lives, you know, but we still need to acknowledge that it was meant to be a joke, all right?
Yeah. We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Bria made it very clear to Jonathan, you cannot be broke. In sickness.
In sickness.
All right, so MTR is not feeling, you can see his face at the corner. He's not feeling that you cannot be broke part, right? Again, MTR, if you've been to a few weddings in recent times, this moment is not really that much of a big deal, okay? The key thing you need to pay attention to is that woman showed up to the wedding. She wants to marry him. He's getting married. He's actually getting married, as opposed to a lot of talk on the internet. That's a big deal. That it takes a lot to get into that space. Okay, there's a lot in real life, not on social media. When you and I as content creators turn on the camera, right, and we start talking, there's a lot more that has happened before people say they want to get married. Particularly why it hurts so bad when people file divorce or they have a whole life and they have to go their separate ways. These are the same reasons. But I need to spell this out for you and many of your over 500,000 followers, probably, that they are actual real life. They're really getting married. That's a big deal. right? So that banter right there cannot carry too much weight. You can't. There's no way it's gonna carry that much weight, much larger than the fact that in reality these people are getting married right now, right? But I see where you're going there, right? Because in reality also we're seeing people calling quits seemingly too early. To you and I, it seems too early, but we don't get to dictate what's too early for people. I want you to be aware that these are people's real lives too. Okay, some of them actually get deleted in the process of the worst case scenario, which is what you tend to pay attention to. I try to pay attention to the best case scenario, but hey, we're having a conversation, we might as well just have it, right? Okay, so if you look at MTR's face corner right there, he's like, are you kidding me? All right, so let's go. There's more to this.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
You want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
All right, there was clearly a jump cut there. Let's go back. There's jump cuts everywhere, right? We don't know if she actually said it or not. We just don't know. Okay, and we might never know because this is probably going to go much more viral than we realize. How many views does this have right now? This has about 70,000 views already. Probably much more because he picked this up from TikTok somewhere, right? Jump cut as in like they cut out the part where she actually eventually said it, right? Maybe she never said it. The bottom line is that they're getting married, right? And I think it's a big deal that she didn't say it too. I do think that. But I do think that MTR is overreacting, and you will see what I'm saying as time goes on. Okay? Let's go back.
We did talk about that in counseling. Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
That's a jump cut. Another jump cut. She said another jump cut. We didn't talk about that. Well, let's just assume that it wasn't a jump cut. Let's assume that she never said it. Okay? So that we can actually address the issue. Let's assume she never said it, right?
We did talk about that in counseling.
The pastor was like, we did talk about that in counseling. What do you mean? They're all laughing. Why are they laughing? Was it funny? No, it wasn't just because it was funny. It was a wedding. MTR, it was a wedding. They were at a wedding. There's a certain vibe and ambience that you experience at a wedding. Whenever you are at a wedding, when you're not at the actual wedding, you won't experience that. You might think this is all a joke and they're just joking about it and this is another modern time stupid stuff. No, but I think a big part of that is that they were at a wedding, right? And the guy is very happy to be marrying this young lady. It's obvious. He wasn't just laughing because it was a simp. No. MTR, no. He was getting married because he was getting married to a person that he's really thinking in this moment he's going to be with her for the rest of his life. Okay? And yes, you're right. We do know that there's a 50% or thereabout chance that they won't be together for a lifetime. I know, that's a big deal. It's clearly a big deal to you. We'll talk about it, right? But there are ways to mitigate that, right? Outside of all the methods that you will probably prescribe in these 3 videos we are reacting to today. Right? I promise you that overreacting to this type of stuff or overreacting to emotional issues, period, you're not going to last, regardless of, even if a lady never, even if she says, I'm going to obey, I'm going to pour her, and she says everything the proper way, right? And I guarantee you, I keep telling you, it's good people, both men and women, that end up in divorce court all the time. Not just people that got it right the way you think they should get it right. But what am I talking about? You're like, wait, he hasn't said anything yet. Again, just pay attention. We're going to keep watching this, okay?
Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
Now
the pastor was laughing. I don't think they just kept going. I think she actually said it, right? But maybe I'm wrong. Let's assume she never said it. The pastor allowed it. He allowed it. They kept moving forward with the weddings, the marriage ceremony.
I'm going to go over this one more time again because I want you guys to be on the same page with me for this entire discussion. Let's watch again.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Repeat that again.
Hold up, before she answers no to the repeat, my G. This is something that you talked about with her into count.
All right. Let's let that play out for MTR so you can get paid. He already got paid. 30 seconds. Let's go. All right. Hold on 1 second. Before I continue, let me pardon my manners really quickly. Let me say hello to one of my people. Design Image Architectural Services. Patricia, that's you. I'm correct? I think I'm correct. Good to see you. How you doing? Toby said that poorer could have been reflex. Yes, could have been reflex. Could have been so many things beyond. Oh, this woman just plans to go in there and destroy his life. Okay, nah, it's not that simple. Again, there's an attempt on all sides. Okay, not just women, men, the elderly and the young. Okay, to oversimplify and generalize these issues, and it won't work. We need to spell everything out. We need to spell everything out. Hey D, good to see you. Roro, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so you're gonna see more of that as MTR continues here. Shout out to all 17 of you watching me. Please step it up. Give me my 6-7 likes right now. Thank you. Donate your likes really quickly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's continue. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Turn on the audio.
That you talked about with her into counseling. No to the repeat, my G. This is something that you talked about with her into counseling. Actually, let me talk to the pastor real quick. This is something that you guys talked about within marriage counseling. You obviously identified that it was a particular problem. And apparently she was able to leave the room and he was able to relieve the room without a resolution to this particular problem. Or at the point of wedding vow, she has now backed out on the verbal contract that she had made with this man prior. As an officiator of the wedding, I would have been like, I don't feel comfortable officiating this anymore, but I know that you're getting paid at the end of the day, so why do you care? Now, while I say all this, do understand that most of my smoke is not for the pastor. Most of my smoke is
he just suggested that the pastor is getting paid anyway, so he doesn't care, right? He doesn't care about saying the right things to them or properly counseling them. Yeah, let's continue. You know, and then he's talking about what you discuss in premarital counseling, the vows and stuff like that. I think most people know what the vow says. Okay, most people can literally Google the vow. In fact, these days people had on their own part of the vows to make it sound romantic and all of that, blah blah blah, right? They do that. Okay, again, the vows is not something you overreact to. In fact, one of the major things you should learn in premarital counseling, MTR and his followers, is not overreacting. Understanding that overreaction is their actions you're responsible for, and you can actually create the reality that you fear the most. You will actually attract what you fear the most, directly or indirectly. These are some of the biggest things you should learn in premarital counseling. Not the words in the vows that were made for you by white people, MTR, right? Last time I checked, the word obey and submission is not even part of Yoruba language. Oh, you're not a Yoruba person, don't worry. Somehow I think I see a little bit of African in there somewhere. Okay, but I don't know what you would claim, but it doesn't matter. Okay, bottom line is that those vows were made up for you to, it's a ceremony. Okay, the bigger deal starts when you're actually inside of the wedding, right? And I think it's a big deal that these two young people already made it to the altar. I think what they were doing is celebrating that fact. That's why they're laughing, not laughing at the quote unquote joke. But it's just a fun ambience. It's beautiful. Have you ever been to a wedding before? Usually, no matter how cheap it is, it's a beautiful thing to see. This is why people go for it all the time. Even there are some people that go for it and care about it more than the marriage itself. But I can't judge them because they can't really know what's inside of marriage until they're inside of it, right? But let's continue.
Actually, for the young man, mind you laughing about this right now, but
it's not laughing about that. He was laughing because he's at his own wedding. MTR, I know you didn't pick that up. I know.
But she's the exact same personality type that you should never reward with marriage. You, my friend, are about to marry a tyrant. This is someone that is for.
How do you know that she's a tyrant? How do you know her personality from one word or one moment? There is no one moment in life, okay? Just like I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. MTR, I've watched a few of your videos. It seems like there's a lot of... You see how it's difficult for me to say anything? So I don't really know you personally, right? So I have my own reservations. I have my own, what I feel about the, kind of energy that you shoot out. But I still have to be reserved and be respectful and not assume that I know you like that, right? I think the same grace can be accorded to this young lady because she made it to the altar to want to marry a fine young man. In this case, it wasn't you. You're 38 years old. You're not married, right? And it hasn't been you. But I guess somehow you become an authority once you have 500,000 followers and you can teach a bunch of young men what not to do. Not necessarily what to do, but what not to do. That's interesting, but this was a wedding. That's why it's laughing, not because of this small banter. Okay.
You, my friend, are about to marry a tyrant. This is someone that is forever going to...
He said a tyrant. You are about to marry a tyrant. You're about to marry a tyrant. Interesting.
Be an arguer. They will forever be a disagreeer. These are the type of strong, independent queens are forever contrarians. They always say no or think of a way to say no before that they say yes. But here you are, ready to give your life to this woman on your wedding day. And on your wedding day, she questioned.
We used 5 AI-driven scaling.
All right. Oh, a lot of cap. Lots of cap already.
Stop the cap.
All right, let me get rid of the ad real quick.
Obey in front of a pastor. On your wedding day, she questions the word obey in front of a pastor in a church where it's written in the Bible.
If Jesus can't save these fools, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus?
But I'm not done yet. But let's
all right, that's funny. Now, here's the thing, okay? I'm gonna address this real quickly. Let me first of all say, no, it is not okay to not say obey or submit or read the vows. Usually, that's already presented to you before you actually get to the wedding, okay? They actually show you what's in the before, right? So that tells me even more so that it's probably just a very clean banter, all in the spirit of a wedding. They're laughing, they're kiki. She probably said it before they said, yes, we can move forward, right? And you can see the pastor that was laughing too. So it's absolutely ridiculous to assume what happened at that wedding just off of a small clip, Well, let me come to the chat really quickly before we continue, because it's going to get more interesting. I do think that, ladies, you need to say the words in the... So that's the issue here. I'm digging a little bit deeper behind the scenes. Yes, I will be making some assumptions here just off of the energy that I get off of our MTR, okay? I will be making assumptions, okay? But my assumptions, I will explain them. And again, I will still be respectful because I don't really know him like that, but he's being consistent in this type of rhetoric, okay? Let's see here. Why so triggered on top of somebody else's marriage? These are the issues. Seems like small banter to me is reaching. Yeah, there's a lot of reach there. He's probably single. He's 38 and single. I don't know if he's ever been married though. I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it. Reward with marriage care. Rewarding with marriage. Some of the languages are designed to try to oversimplify and generalize, okay? So, but we're talking about literally tens of thousands of people listening to it, so we need to address them and spell them out, and then we can't let it pass all the time, okay? As much as we get to it. How did I know he wasn't married? Roro, you will know now. You can hear it. Okay, they might even say you're assuming, but no, you can hear it. You can hear that there's lack of experience. Yes, even at the age of 38. Yeah, it's really not that deep. No, I don't think it's that deep either. They had a discussion about these vows, and both of them knew her stance on that part. About honor. If they did, they wouldn't be saying it. I think it was just a small banter moment. I think they do it with the poorer. They also do it with the it's a banter, it's a moment of banter, okay? But why would you take it so seriously? Like, well, this is somebody's life. No, it's not that deep. You need to drink water, take a cold shower, and sleep over what I'm saying to you right now. It's not that deep. They do it with the poorer. Women, a lot of women do it with the poorer. Think they will like kiki, and they say yes, poorer. Some of them will say it under their breath. It's not that deep. It's a wedding. They made it to their wedding. They are getting married. It's a big deal already. And they already have intentions, if not already acting it. A person who made it to a wedding is already submitting. Pay attention to the actions. That's submission in real time. That's obedience in real time, if it's really about the word obedience. Okay? As opposed to the words, right? The rest of it is ceremonial. It's called a ceremony for a reason. Okay? So it's a shame that they didn't write their own personal vows. Yeah, not everybody does that. We didn't do that, you know. Not everyone does that. Sometimes, you know, like for example, the church I go to, they actually have vows that they read from the books of the church. So it depends on what church you go to and the doctrine you subscribe to. And some people are more Igbalode, more with the times where they actually write their own vow and all that kind of stuff. You know, but the reach out for poorer, for all that stuff is standard. You can literally Google it, right? But I'm telling you, every wedding I've been to in recent times, they, you know, they chuckle about it, they laugh about it, say, it's going to be poorer. They say poorer in Jesus' name, richer, poorer, but richer in Jesus' name. They banter a little bit, but if you don't go to a wedding enough, you might not have seen that. I don't think MTR has been to weddings enough. I've seen it done with poorer too. It's just jokes. That's it. That's all it is. But in the middle of him reacting or overreacting, I might add, to this issue, he said a lot of stuff that I want to react to. So let's go ahead and continue the reaction. Let's get to it. Let's see.
Then you want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
You laughing now, my G, but I guarantee you that you're going to cry later. The only people that should be laughing right now is divorce lawyers, laughing all the way to the bank before the ink even dries on your divorce contract. This young woman has the sheer and utter audacity to embarrass not only him, but his friends in attendance, his family that's in attendance, the pastor that's in attendance, and the will of God on top of that. And why? Because she's a modern ass woman that's been fed all these feminists.
Not a modern woman, a modern ass woman. MTR seemed a lot more pissed off with this guy's wedding all by himself. Like, why are you so pissed off with somebody else's wedding? A modern ass woman, and then you're guaranteeing you're guaranteeing that it's not going to make you through his wedding. Interesting. Well, are you pulling this guarantee out of your ass? What's going on here? Jesus Christ.
That. And why? Because she's a modern ass woman that's been fed all these feminist lies that thinks that being cooperative to a man in a marriage is by some stretch means of the imagination a death sentence. And here you go.
What? A death sentence?
Oh, falling in line with it. Hook, line, and sinker. One of my biggest issues with modern women today is that the
issue is with modern women, not with modern people. The issue is with these issues are with modern women, particularly black women. Okay, I'm gonna prove that in a few minutes here. But what you're looking at in real time is the issues with relationships today. Okay, he's a single man, but he might just get lucky and end up in a relationship with somebody. And then you expect that, oh yeah, we're just going to write all of this scientifically on the paper and everybody will be happy. Yeah, right. What about the emotions that you're looking at on his face right now? How do you think that's going to play out in a real life relationship? When his insecurities are triggered, how do you think that's going to play out? I mean, it's okay. Feel free to guess. You don't have to tell me. Just inside of your heart, just think about it, right? Just look at the emotions on his face. He's guaranteeing that this man is going to cry. Okay? He's at his wedding. Okay? Even if he ends up being divorced in the future, he's experienced it. He's gone through it. He's proven that he's able to experience life. Right? But
want men, modern men, to still fulfill all of their
need help with maintenance? No problem.
Oh man, he has a huge platform, so the ads are showing up every second.
Masculine obligations and duties.
Wait, what?
Modern men to still fulfill all of their masculine
Okay, so is masculine different from masculine? Are those two different things? Is masculine different from masculine? Is it more masculine to say masculine or something? Am I missing something here? Somebody bring me up to speed. Let me come back to the chat. Am I missing something here? It sounds like masculine is much more masculine than masculine itself. The one with the H in it. Masculine. Does that become more masculine? I'm done. Listen. Roro said, if you can read into stuff like this, please, maybe he can predict lotto numbers for me. Abby, predict some lotto numbers for us. Maybe we can go home with just 10 million extra, for a lifetime of a couple of people, that will go a long way, right? Question: for someone to be so triggered, do you think they may be coming from their own trauma? Yeah, they get triggered when you use the word trauma. I think you're correct. Let's call it experience. It's a personal experience of some sort. Somehow they can relate personally. That's what it is. But shout out to MTR. MTR just lost his father not too long ago to cancer. And he was raised by a single father. And I think his mom, something happened. If I'm correct, I think his mom left the father. So there's something definitely very, very personal there. I don't expect him to admit to that. It is what it is. But we're here on a public platform reacting to a public video. So shout out to him, But yes, this is definitely personal. Okay. And he needs to tell us the rest of the story. But even if he doesn't, we'll dig through these talking points. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, probably being hurt by a black woman before and now he can't get over it. Yeah. You people are taking it too personal. What about the masculine? Is that personal enough? Masculine. Is that personal enough? No, not masculine. Me, I don't know. Is it more does this, ladies, you can tell me, does it sound more masculine when I say masculine? Wahala. He's giving the energy of a man who despises let's see. I don't want to go too much into his personal life. He's going to tell us more about more general stuff that we can learn from, okay, that I can just correct without going into his personal life. The only thing I've shared is stuff he said publicly, so no big deal there. It's not that deep as usual, right? Let's get back to it. Let's see.
Obligations and duties, while they will no longer fulfill all their feminine duties to go along with it. Case in point.
So they expect man to continue their masculine duties and obligation, while they, modern women, expect to not have to fulfill their feminine obligation and duty.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
Pressure what? Right. Masculine and feminine relationship to relationships is all energy. Okay, it's all energy. Okay, And that means, first of all, is in the eyes of the beholder, but on a general scale, in a social construct, there are some things that we generally accept that this is masculine and this is feminine. Okay, when a person is sure of themselves, not just by their words, not just by adding H into masculine. Okay, when they're sure of themselves, all right, that's masculine energy. Okay, when a person have questions, okay, when they tend to question every move, there's a longer process. My father was talking about that yesterday. I'll play that clip in a second. When there's a longer process of how they process emotions, it's considered feminine. Neither one is right nor the other one is wrong. Okay, neither one is right or wrong. Okay, it's just the way it is, and they are both useful because it helps us create sexual polarity. All right, and that's really all that matters. Now, when you bring in duty and obligations into that conversation, everybody have no choice but to enter their feminine energy, meaning they're not sure of themselves. When they hear your voice, which your voice demonstrates that you're not sure of yourself, they get into their own zone of not being sure of themselves, and that's chaotic. Okay, because feminine energy by itself is known to be the beautiful chaos. It's like painting, right? But when you just had it on top of each other, it becomes chaos. It becomes chaotic, especially when that feminine energy is misplaced masculine energy. I don't know if what I just said just makes sense. I hope so. Okay. So duty and obligation, right? When it's actually happening in real time, that's masculine energy. Not when you're saying it. It doesn't matter if you say it or not. Okay. As a matter of fact, the more you say it, the more it's out of his essence, right? It's just in action. That's masculine energy, right? So the idea of bringing masculine and feminine duty and obligation, you should take care of yours while I take it. It becomes a competition. Romantic relationship cannot thrive in competition. Okay, everybody have their guards up. They're trying to protect themselves. It's not gonna work. Okay, now he's not trying to do romantic relationship, but he's talking about romantic relationships, and there's something personal about what he's trying to say. And I see, just like it was guaranteed, I guarantee that this energy will come to play if he enters into a romantic relationship. Not when he's happy. When crisis inevitably comes. Crisis will inevitably come to everybody in romantic relationship. When that comes, these insecurities will rise to the surface, and he will react with them as soon as possible, and everybody is going to be scared. They will be competing with each other, just like he's spelling out, and it's not going to work. It's not a good thing. It's not a good sight to see. It doesn't feel good either. Okay. D says, I have seen something similar, and that is why I stated that the energy is just like the scenario I've seen play out. Yep, it's gonna show up. T-Love, hello. This guy on the screen will be red. Now red pill now. He doesn't want to. If you're talking about red pill, is red pill. He claims it's not, but he is. He actually sell materials around that. He want breath. He's saying it's not, but then he was advertising the program he sells around it. Like this guy. Yes, he is. But let's continue.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. You and your wife are laying in bed. Bump goes in the night. There's someone downstairs that is looking to rob and to steal. Who is required to go downstairs and fight to the death? The man is. But that same man on his wedding day couldn't get that same woman to say, yes, I will obey. Yes, I will submit. Yes, I will be cooperative. Tell me, how is this a fair deal to all 32.1 women that follow this channel right here? Write down in the description box, the comment box down below. What benefit is there a man in modern times today to get married? Because I just don't see it. It seems as if getting married today is a reward for a woman, but why?
All right, so obviously this is the rhetoric of a person who thinks marriage is a competition. Is it me, or can you see what I'm talking about? Right? Marriage is not a competition. Yeah, and including you, like he might claim, okay, I get it. He might say, but they started it first. Yes, gentlemen, you don't benefit from engaging that competition. Okay? In fact, it gets worse. It only gets worse. I guarantee it. See, it was guaranteed earlier, right? It gets worse, right? So let's even assume that you're correct. They started it first. They started what? There's no competition if you don't engage. If you engage it, it becomes competition. You might as well just go your separate ways. Man and woman. There's no point engaging romantic relationships if you're going to go there and compete. Because they work. Now, you will have moments over a lifetime where people have, you're arguing, you're trying to win a point, a talking point. And then the best way out of that moment is to remember that we're one team. If you end up not remembering that we're one team, if at least one person does not realize that it's one team, you will end up in a divorce court, even as good people. Even as people who mean well. You know what? Let's compete with each other so we can make sure we're held accountable. You end up in divorce courts because that's just not how it works. It needs to be one team. You go there, you leave to cleave. You become one. Literally, if you're thinking emotionally speaking, literally, if you're thinking if you're thinking power, social, self, right? If you're thinking seduction, attraction, if you're thinking literally the idea of doing life with the person, you go there to become one. I know you thought it was only spiritual. No, literally, you go there to become one. If it can't be one, it's not going to work. It's as simple as that. And the moment you start creating a level of competition, either in your talking point and stuff, it's better that you stay single. It is absolutely fine to be 38 and a single man. There's nothing. Don't let somebody tell you that's a red flag. It's only a red flag if you're trying to get with people. If you're trying to be alone, it's not a red flag. It is not. Because clearly you're doing well. What you're doing is working for you. I would hope so. Right? Very, very, very important. Let's continue with MTR here. Let's see here. There's always a reason for people taking things personal. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so hyped. Yep. You have to, even me, including me. When I'm having this conversation with you, you guys saw me very passionate when I was talking to my father yesterday. I had to, there's a lot of moments that I had to let me not talk over this man, right? But I was so excited to have him, right? So that's personal. Like, I can't be like, oh, it's just a topic, No, it's not. It's personal. That's the reason why I'm relating with everything he was saying, because I've had the experience. It's personal. And we live in a generation that no one is willing to admit that this is personal. It's personal pain, hurt. Right? Everybody's like, no, but I can't talk about my personal. But you are. I can tell that this is personal. I don't know if you know that we can tell that this is personal. Okay? Tilo said, I feel this is part of why there's a decline in childbearing. Yes, it's going to affect everything. But that's fine. Okay? That's not a bad thing in the long run. It's a reset. Okay? It might be bad for individuals, but overall, no, trust me. Everybody go do all right. Okay? All generations had something, but this headspace, person go chop breakfast. Yep. Thank you for that. Thank you. I thought it was a great show too. The comments said it all. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's continue with the MTR. 500,000 followers, MTR. He knows what he's doing when it comes to marketing on these YouTube platforms. So let's keep going. Let's see.
Men want to reward women with this type of attitude, wearing their strong independence as if it's a badge of honor when you're supposed to be in a together mindset. Decades of...
You're right about that, but you're conflicting yourself. It's supposed to be a together mindset. They seem, if you look at their actions, the vibe, the smile on their faces, even including the pastor, they all seem to be in one accord at that event. You don't seem to be in that zone with them. You're much more connected to the potential that this man will end up divorced in the future. And you've connected it to one moment of a person you know nothing about. You don't even know their personal name. That is wild. That is crazy. Omo, that is crazy. I can't listen. That's crazy. You don't know them, right? In fact, not only do I know you don't know them, you don't know that this kind of banter is consistent at weddings. Oh, maybe that's why the marriages don't last. No, you're wrong still. You're still wrong. You need to put yourself out there, have some experience first, and then come back and tell us what your experience was, even if it ends up in divorce. Then maybe your words can carry some weight. For now, Zukwa Nuike.
Disney, decades of Barbie, decades of all of this feminism, modern. I'm a boss, be queen.
The real
this, that,
issues are coming
city
out.
Girl, all that shit right there has completely infected your minds. And I'm just tired of all the bullshit.
Oh, you're
because
tired.
We talk about all of this ad nauseum, but y'all continue to ignore this. But at the same junction, you wonder why your strength through your independence leaves y'all single and alone. Tell me how that makes sense, because men watching content like this right here are getting their goddamn passports ready. Maji, listen to me.
They're getting their passport ready to go and meet my beautiful Nigerian sisters in Lekki. They will show them shaggy. Either in Uganda, Abi Accra, Abi inside of Nairobi. They will show them shaggy. They know nothing. They are getting their passports ready. Go ahead, get your passports ready in a consistently globalizing, progressive world. Go ahead and get your passport ready. You collect the same way you've been collecting all around the world. You will collect. It's only a matter of time. If you are lazy, you are lazy. Especially, it's even worse when you're lazy in the mind. If you can't think this through, if what I'm saying right now does not make sense to you, please go ahead and get your passports and travel the world. Let's see how that works out for you. And then please remind me when you're 65, if you're still traveling the world looking for Olo.
To talk to you right now, the guy that's on the screen right here. Please do not have children with this woman. It'll be one of the worst decisions that you make in your life. Setting yourself up for marriage.
So sure.
You lose your leverage. She's demonstrated to you right here.
Let me ask you, okay? Again, like I said, ladies, if you say this at your wedding, some of your husbands that is happy that you're getting married to has been watching MTR, okay? And because it's been watching MTR, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to call it, is insecurity that has been created by this stupid video will rise all the way to the top. Okay? I'm just letting you know right now. Okay? Some of them are watching. They don't necessarily say they're watching. They're just watching. Okay? And it's becoming, because these things are connected to pain, they are becoming a big weight in their heart. So the moment you get to your wedding, if you're going to do marriage, follow the principles of marriage. Please do not, let me see. There was a comment that I saw from Natu earlier. How did I skip it? Let me see. Natu, where's that comment? Wait. I gotta find that comment. Let's see. MOP, there you go. She said, MOP, people marry for different reasons. The reason why all of these are happening now is because people don't view marriage as an institution. What you said here is pretty loaded, okay? It's half truth, okay? I think people are very aware that this is an institution. I think a lot of people are not that intentional. When I read what you said, it sounds like people are being intentionally doing it. People are not that intentional. I think it's just all part of how the world is socializing in a certain direction, and it is what it is, okay? And it's not. It's more of socialization than it is intentional. Like, oh, I'm just going to see marriage different. I think most human beings, okay, and I'm saying most because I don't want to make it absolute. Most human beings that knows that marriage is supposed to be for poorer, for richer, to love and to obey in sickness and health. Most human beings, they know this and they're not trying to go into it to do otherwise. Okay? And if there's a small group of people trying to practice some kind of alternative stuff, that's why they call it alternative. It's not the typical. Majority of you watching me right now, you're not thinking polyamory, let me do something a little bit out of the ordinary. They do exist, but it's not the typical. Okay? So he's talking about the typical. The context of today's topic is about the typical. If you're in this chat, let me know, and you don't expect that when you go into a marriage with a man that you're expected to love and to obey and to read that out loud. Please let me know in the chat if this is a big deal for you. If you, I'm not talking about you understand why it's a banter. I'm talking about ultimately you know this. In fact, like you know that this is like you're already doing it before you end up on the altar with a person in action, not words. Right? But when they say it in words, it might trigger you because obviously there's a trauma response that this man don't want to acknowledge, right? Just let me know in the chat if you're like that person right now. I will acknowledge. Say, yeah, I do have. There used to be one person that used to come here who truly believed in what's her name? I forgot. She used to come here and go to Sahel at the same time. She was into polyamory and she said that out loud. I get it. Okay, there's a few people, maybe one out of, I don't know, 1,000 people. Okay, typically, you know. Hey Mo Fresh, good to see you. So I think most women know that they're supposed to go there and read out. They might chuckle or banter about it, but they know that this is a real thing. And they actually love the idea that it's a real thing because it means they can rest in their femininity and rest in a marriage with a man that they feel safe and secure with for a lifetime. Right? So it's something to pay attention to, you know. Waiting to do Barbie, please. So that Barbie story, if we start digging through it, just let's leave that alone. Jelly, you know, has he seen the issues passport bros are facing overseas? No, I don't think so. Shaggy, going to other women because they think it's the women instead of renewing their mindset. Yeah, even that alone spells out weak men. Okay, let me leave my own women and run to another group of people's men or women because I can't figure out my own. There's nothing wrong with going across the world to marry if that's how you found love, but particularly because you feel like you can't figure out your own women, that's weak. You need to come up with something better, gentlemen. But all of the issues are different. You're Nigerian and we are Americans. You're right. Some of my people are following these stupid rhetorics and they're repeating the talking points. So it's actually the same issue across the board. Stop the cap. It's the same issues across the board.
Stop the cap.
There are Yoruba men saying Yoruba women are terrible. Igbos are better. There are Igbo men saying Igbo women are terrible. Uganda women are much more feminine. It's the same issues across the board. All of you, your balls is in the hands of this woman. Okay, at the end of the day, so you need to learn the game as opposed to running away from yourself. Every time you run, it's like running from your shadow. There you are again, right? Yeah. So these are the followers of MTR, and he tried to camouflage like I'm trying to balance. No, there's no experience in what you're saying. You've read too much, and you spent the last, how much is 38 minus 18 years? Last 20 years doing too much reading, and you haven't put yourself out there and have your heart broken a couple more times. That's the issues here, okay? Meaning you can practice letting go, right? And understanding that you don't really own human beings, and you will never own human beings. Just listen to some of the things he's saying. He won't get it, but it's controlling behavior, okay? I don't expect him to get it though, yeah.
That you will have no leverage. The reason why I
leverage
in my voice when I'm watching things like this happen is because I get y'all emails. I see them. I can't respond to all of them. What emails am I talking about? These men that are going through divorce. These men that are ready to end themselves because of what they're being put through, that they're being ripped from their kids, that they have alimony and child support that they cannot keep up with, that they are on the brink of getting locked up. I see them, only but so much that I can do. So when I see ish like this about to happen, I become empathetic to the things that I know that can happen, especially.
So what's the difference between a coach who charges, let's say, $100 an hour?
It's as prevalent.
All right. Is he getting emails? Absolutely, he's getting emails. Okay. He has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay. He's getting emails. Okay. Is he getting emails from people that are having the best of experience in marriage? He might be getting some. Will he open those emails? You'd be my guest. Be my guest. Do you think he will open those emails? Or someone said, hey, MTR, I'm actually having a good experience. I've gone through some things and I've figured some things out. And I feel like I can share some things with your platform that may be helpful to some of these lost young men. Do you think he will open those emails? If he opened those emails, what do you think he would do with them? Right? If he's getting so many negative emails about everything that's negative about marriage and relationships, which many of them are real. I'm not saying that people are not going through stuff, men or women. But do you think he will, which one do you think his mind will gravitate towards the most? The negative one or the positive one? If he sees a clearly positive one, do you think he will believe? Do you think he will believe that, like, that's crap? Do you think he will not be guaranteeing that, hey, talk to me 5 years from now? If you're still married, then we could talk. In 5 years' time, he will say, give me another 5 years. You're probably going to be divorced anyway. Right? He's getting emails. Over 500,000 subscribers. Of course he's getting emails. I get emails, even my own small 3,700 subscribers here. I get emails, of positive stuff. Thank you so much. You changed my mindset about this. This helped me. The way I move is a little bit different in my marriage. I get those emails too, right? The ones that may have something negative to say, in the same token, they might be afraid to email me, right? I have many of them email for coaching, but in terms of email as a testimonial, of course not. It's not a testimonial, right? And some of them, by the time they're emailing, they don't want to be judged too, because they think all I is always saying is their fault, and that's not the case, right? The point I'm making is that everyone is coming from their own perspective, right? At the end of the day, are you wise enough to come down and say there has to be another side to this? If at least 20% of marriages are working, those people figured something out. And no, it has nothing to do with the word obey at a wedding. It has zero to do with that. People that say I do, they don't know what they're doing 100% of the time. You could say all the vows accurately as much as you want. You went through all the premarital counsel. You did everything correctly. You still don't know what you're doing. You will start figuring out what you're doing on day one, like my father said here yesterday. Once you enter the marriage, this is 100% true across the board. But so why should I go into marriage? Because you are doing life anyway. It's like asking yourself, why should I do life without finding out before I enter life? Imagine if God starts showing you life before you enter life, right? Life is tough, but life is beautiful at the same time, isn't it, right? You wake up, you look forward to waking up every day, and you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what kind of crisis, obstacles is going to come your way tomorrow, but somehow you trust because you don't really have a choice, right? What you have to treat marriage the same thing, right? Because why? Procreation, if that's what you want, you don't really have much choice anyway, right? Let's continue.
As what she is showing, unabashedly, for the life of me, why is none of his friends stepping up and saying something? For the life of me, why is his father not saying something? For the life of me, why is his mother not saying something?
Maybe because they are wiser than you and they're having a good time at that wedding. Did you ever think about that, MTR? Maybe, yeah, they're like, that's not funny. Obey. Okay, let's keep it moving, right? Beautiful wedding. Maybe that's what's going on, MTR. Maybe. But I'm guessing that you rather assume the worst case scenario. He's going to end up in divorce. Like, it's just all terrible at that wedding. The way you picture this is that this is not a ceremony. This is like a funeral. The way you're thinking right now. Right? That's giving. That's giving, Yeah, Toby says he's projecting too much on this couple. Hey, they put the videos out there, so it is what it is. I hope they can handle it. They're sending him emails instead of seeking therapy and healing. Precisely. Yeah. But, misery loves company. They'd rather send an email because there's an association of ideologies, of feelings, of emotions. Yeah, it's a confirmation of what they're feeling. They'd rather send an email than seek therapy. That's just reality, sadly. Sadly, yeah. Okay. Some people are seeking therapy from people that need therapy. That's actually what's going on YouTube for the most part, to be honest. Confirmation bias. You see, you're reading my mind, though. Plus, those stories are one-sided. Some might be true partly, some will be exaggerated. This mindset that women are the problem won't solve a thing. Yeah, just like mindset that men are the problem. It won't solve your personal problem because your personal problems are yours, and you're actively trying to disengage it. The people that are following MTR, they're actively trying to disengage their personal story. So how could they solve it? They can't solve it, right? Because remember, their mind is telling them it's not their problem, it's everyone else's problem. Everyone is going through the same thing. It's just women. It's just men. It's just black women. It's just Indian women. Some of them will even have the audacity to tell you that Indian women don't do this. How many Indian women do you know? Right? Generalizations over simplifications of personal stories, personal issues, personal problems are everywhere. You can find them everywhere, you know. So you're right. You're right. These stories are definitely not just one-sided. They're purely that one person's perception. Like maybe not even completely one-sided. You might be so you'll be surprised how disconnected from reality people's valid personal story can be. Your own valid story can be so disconnected from reality, you have no idea, because your perception is only so much. At most, you can see 180 degrees. There's a massive blind spot behind you that you can't see. Think of that in terms of emotions. So it's even larger. Okay, you can actually be in the world and be disconnected from the reality of that world because of the way you process your emotions, because you are the one in the funk, right? It's much more complicated than anything you can write into 1 and 0. It's either this or not that, or any type of absolute. It doesn't exist. Okay, case by case by case by case. This is why it's hard work, and people don't want to do the work. They'll rather run into an echo chamber like MTR's platform, find about 600,000 people that aligns with how they feel, and they will have like a soothing of the wound, right? It will feel better for a second, but they actually have to come back tomorrow to continue to make it feel better. There's no healing, right? There's no healing. Yeah. Let's continue.
If anybody recognized, it should be his mama. The women, all the women are the first to recognize the bullshit of these modern ass women. And I sit back and I look, and behind his smile and his laugh, there's an emptiness there.
There's no emptiness. That nigga is happy. MTR, stop the cap. There's no emptiness. Emptiness beats him now.
Stop the cap.
Cry. Oh man, Jesus Christ!
You think say they wise?
Jesus,
you are a mumu man.
This is just Jesus. It's worse than I thought. Actually, it's worse than I thought. If you follow this type of people and you have real life issues going on, you will collect.
Sorry,
Man or woman, okay? Man or woman. If you follow women that come from this standpoint of extreme toxic, extreme absolute ideologies, it will get worse for you. Now, I guarantee that. But yeah, I don't have to guarantee. You probably seen it already. What you believe, you tend to see it everywhere you go. Right? You just see it everywhere and you just be confused. You're like, I want a different result. But you already believe that there's no different results. Everyone deals with this. You have things like 90%, 95%, 80%. You hear all types of generalizations and oversimplification of your own personal experience. You're not going to find healing. It makes sense that I can guarantee that it's going to get worse for you, okay? Because it will expand. What you focus on expands. Let's continue.
There's a societal need created by your media today that says you are not a man until you get married. You are not a man until you have a family. So it causes a lot of young men.
Does that sound familiar? Ladies, does that sound familiar? Just flip the genders, that's all. Does it sound familiar?
To rush into something that they know for damn sure that they should not. Gentlemen, listen.
Now, for a fact, you don't need any one particular human being to be a wholesome person, but you need people. Okay? You need relations, you need connection with other. You're a social being, you're an emotional being. There's no way around it. Don't deceive yourself. Stop the cap all the way, okay? Stop the cap, okay? There's no way around it, okay? But does it have to be romantic? Well, the idea of romantic is it spans too. It feels sweet, and that feeling is real. When you just know and you feel that this person has your back for a lifetime, it just makes life that much sweeter and makes it a lot more easier, because a lot of your reality is controlled by emotions, not just tangibles that you can touch. Okay, the tangibles that you can touch is very little. As I did here right now, I have not, did I leave? Okay, I left this place for a second today, but I've been here for the most part today. Okay, I've been inside of this building for the most part today. But my world is much more bigger than that. That's because of my imagination, my emotions, the experiences I've had, right? That's part of what makes us human beings. And that exponentially grows the more people you connect with at a very intimate level. Now, when you bring marriage into it and romance into it, listen, romance does just not exist just because. It's because there's a market for it. It's because we want it. Okay? And anybody who say they don't want it, they're capping.
Stop the cap.
It's cap for the most part. Okay? It's cap. I try to avoid the absolutes, but listen, if you're watching me here and you know I talk about relationships all the time, if you say no, I don't care about romance,
Will you keep quiet?
yeah, that's cap.
To me, you only have a finite amount of time on this planet, and looking at my life and the things that are happening around me, the people that have died around me, it continues to remind me that I have to create a reality for myself that is worth living. And
that's true, but you are saying that to justify nonsense, just like you can use scriptures to justify nonsense. That's actually true. You have to create your own reality, but you are literally creating your reality, because what you focus on when it comes to marriage is the worst case scenario. You are creating your reality much, much larger than the amount of six figures you make. Okay, because there's only so much six figures you can make as an average human being. But the limit when it comes to your imagination and your emotions is literally limitless. No limit. Okay, you could go to bed tonight like this and just sleep and just have like a small thought, and that will make your sleep that much better. No amount of money can buy that.
I'll be for goddamn if I will sacrifice myself to this ongoing narrative of you are not a man or you are not a mature man until you do something defined by women or just feminist media.
This is projection. Right? No one, I would never tell you that you're not a full-blown man until you marry. I would never say that to you. However, in fact, it's worse. When you're spewing all the rhetorics that he's been spewing for the last time in the tier, right? I will be the first to tell you to stay away from marriage, because it will never work. This man that's getting married on the screen, see the smile, him not overreacting to this, he will last longer in a marriage than you. Is that not obvious? No, but how? The woman is not going to commit. Says who? You don't know her, right? Why? Because she skipped over one word in a video that's clearly been jump cut into multiple different pieces. Are you paying attention? In real time, you're being tested as a man. In fact, what I'm looking at right now, what you're saying, MTR, I'll be the first to tell you, stay away from marriage. Could it work? It will never work. Why? Because it's really driven by your mindset, not the stupid words, English, diction, accurate grammar coming out of your mouth. All that will fall in the poto once you end up in real marriage. Yeah. All that we end up in the potter once you end up in a real marriage.
Media that you didn't even realize was feminist media. I refuse to have my life governed by them. Understand yourself, understand your purpose, know what makes.
I think that's a smart decision. Stay away from marriage, MTR, and all the people that follow MTR religiously, stay away from marriage. It will never work. Okay? It will never work. I guarantee it. And it's not a crime to stay away from marriage. Okay? But I think it's a crime to yourself to continue to engage content about marriage and relationship, and you can't really survive in it. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I think you're missing out on life. You could actually be on the roller coaster all by yourself in the middle of a safari in South Africa, and just knowing that this is it. This is the most I can get out of life. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're doing yourself a disservice engaging these conversations, all right? And this man is getting married. It's not necessarily better than you, but just because of this conversation, he's way better than you because he's doing him, and you're concerned about his own life. That is hella weird. That is very weird. And no, my brother, that is not masculine. That is precisely feminine behavior.
You tick, know what you will tolerate and what you should not tolerate from these women today, or simply suffer the lifelong consequences. Just as quick and easy as she was to say, I will not cooperate or I will not obey, is just as quick and easy as you should have walked off that altar.
Now, to be fair, he knows his audience. He might just be pandering to his audience. He knew they would eat up like Indomie. They were just all over it, right? So maybe he's just a good marketer. I'm giving benefit of doubt. Or last stop the cap. Yeah, right.
Questions, comments, concerns.
All right, so that's the first part of the video, and then MTR. Let me make sure I come to the. All right, and then he decided to go on Instagram and engage a young lady. And I saw a little bit of the clip. Then he took the clip. He enjoyed it so much. He took the clip and decided to publish it on his YouTube, the live. He was on Instagram live with a young lady, and it was another moment of lesson. I was watching this yesterday, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta react to this." I was like, "It's just too much." Right, so we're gonna get into that right now. He did 3 sessions. Hopefully we'll get through all 3 of them. I'm gonna try to let it run for a little while before I actually I'll let each 1 minute run before I say something. That way, we'll take it from there. Let me see here. Boom. All right, are we ready? Ready to continue? All right, good. We're missing about 6 likes, 5 likes. Hit that like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. All right, so let's get into this.
Sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. That was funny to me, though.
So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
When the man loses his leverage to leave the relationship, do you really think she's going to fix her behavior?
Yeah, because if she cares enough about him, she will.
You live in a delusion.
You
live in a dream world.
I'm not.
You live in a delusion. You live in a dream world. You're not on earth.
If you said that offended me, then me as a woman, me as your wife, me as someone who loves you, will sit there and say, I apologize, and let's move forward.
All right, so the question is, Ashley, why should men reward women, modern women, with marriage?
I think you reworded the question wrong, because I don't think marriage is an award. I think marriage is just, for me, I'm very...
All right, so we got through the first minute. He said, why should men reward women for marriage? Reward. Okay, so I get it. Men control the access to marriage. Right. All right, so I'm gonna start holding my two toes down on certain ideologies that I've tested over time and it's continued to be true. Okay. Apparently, a lot of these young men believe that they control access to marriage.
Stop the cap.
This is a case by case. Some of us controlled access to marriage. The rest of you that are actually very loud about this talking point, you don't control access to nothing except your 6 figures. Okay, let's just call that out for what it is. Okay, the cap is just too much. It's getting worse and worse and worse. You seem to be more engaged in this idea of marriage than the actual people ending up in marriage and the people that are actually trying to figure it out, right? They understand that there's something to figure out, but the rest of you, you've made up your mind, and that precisely tells me that you do not control nothing. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Very much a Christian person, Christian woman. So for me, marriage is about connection. So when you have when you have
this was funny, to be honest.
Right?
She said marriage is about connection.
And when you have the word obey, right? And you have the word like submit, I feel like a lot of women have a problem with it because I agree with what you said.
She said a lot of women have problem with the word obey and submit.
A trauma response. It's a response to being fed, men ain't shit. It's a response to them seeing men in their...
It's response to men being fed, men ain't shit. Okay? He's been cursing anyway, so I'll just have a little potty mouth here to make it make sense. Right? It's trauma response to being fed. Right? To me, that sounds like a woman who is accountable already. Okay? But just look at MTR's face. Okay? This was one of the issues that I had with the way Kevin Samuels reacted to the ladies that called the show. He tended, I don't know if I said it correctly, but yeah, because he's no longer here with us. He tended to be the one to roll his eyes first. But he was putting on the show, so I give me a lot of out for that, right? But he just tended to be the one to roll his eyes. It was entertaining though. It made sense for the show. Right? But why are you the first rolling your eyes in the conversation? And that makes me question. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that you would not do this inside of marriage. But Ola, stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
They will do it inside of marriage. Okay? They'll be the first rolling their eyes first. Okay? Let's continue.
Life not coming up to the plate the way they are. So it's a trauma response. You saw the
trauma response,
right? The movie. And Sanaya living in the relationship with her mom.
Yeah.
You saw how her mom is the traditional submissive wife, right? And you saw time and time again in that movie, the husband would do stuff that will neglect the small things that she would do. Like, for example, she said, "Oh, you cooked the whole dinner for that man. You cooked the whole dinner, 4 courses. It was a beautiful dinner. He came home with pizza. You didn't."
All right, the ads came in. All right, I'm going to pause there for a second. Now, to be fair to him, and like I've always tried to be fair to Kevin Samuels as well, there's no one moment, the same grace I gave earlier when it was judging those people in the wedding. There's no one moment that determined anybody's life. Okay, we don't know these people. We don't know these people. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I'll give that benefit of the doubt. However, if you do that enough times, that's going to bite you in the butt, and you could be a good man and you will end up in divorce court. Yes, or a woman, okay? But in this case, if you are trying to lead, if you are the one leading that relationship, particularly you're held accountable more. Just by default, it just makes sense because you are leading, right? Duh. Like there's nothing to argue about there because you are leading. So for the most part, you will have to lead out of any kind of funky place emotionally, right? You're expected to do that, and you should be happy you're doing that because you get to also take the credit for that when you do end up on the other side and you're doing it successfully. Okay, now in terms of connection, she said marriage is about connection. I agree 100% with her. Okay, now when you go into different religions, they call it different names, right? When you go into different contexts, different eras in generation, right? They call it different names. They might call it duty and obligation in certain era. But the more we go into this world that people have autonomy and have agency over their own life, something I was saying earlier, which is create your own reality. The truth is that people can exit your situation very quickly, especially if you don't connect with the idea that they are here because they are here emotionally first, right? If you think this is some kind of pragmatic, stupid, nonsense duty obligation that keeps people around you, you're fooling yourself, because people have options and they will exercise those options the moment they don't feel right, and they will justify it with that same damn scriptures. Oh, sorry, scripts, respectfully, with that same scripture, they will justify. They will find a verse in the Bible to justify it, right? But the real issue is because there was a disconnect. Okay, disconnect. Connection is one of human basic needs, right? Does that not make sense already to you? Connection is one of human basic needs. Why would you not see that this is at the core? It's a very, like, women will say a lot, like, I just don't feel a sense of connection. And men will be like, what do you mean? We're married. This is duty, obligation. And she's like, dude, I don't feel connection. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, but this was a duty, obligation, and you said to obey, and you're being disobedient right now. She will leave your ass. This is just the reality. If you don't listen a little bit more attentively and ask her, what do you mean by connection? There's something she's trying to say, or he's trying to say, because some men actually speak that language too. And you might be disconnected from that. Quote unquote. Disconnected from that, and you're wondering why they want to run in spite of the vows. Remember, you said you didn't understand what connection was? Or remember you made that face when she said marriage was about connection? When you made that face, like, yeah, it's not divorce court. Okay, you're not wrong, she's not wrong, you just don't belong together. It's just a reality. Well, people's life and children are being destroyed. Family structure. You're right. This is why I'm telling you to pay a little bit more attention than your English and your big grammar. You need to pay a little bit more attention beyond your big grammar on your idea or your own understanding. Stop leaning so much on your own understanding. Seek more understanding. I'm telling you. Suya. You're looking for Suya. Sure. Toby and Trey was about to say he's Kevin's junior brother. Yeah, he's Kevin's mentee. Definitely. For sure. Let's continue here. Are you having a good time? Are you getting some value from this? Let me know.
And stand beautiful dinner. He came home with pizza. You didn't argue with that man. You didn't do nothing. You didn't stand your ground or nothing. You just put all that food away. You know, she was in there doing her daughter's hair, and he was like,
he's
"Can you
listening.
iron my shirt for me?"
That's good.
Noticing that she was obviously tired, like very tired of doing the housewife duties, very tired of doing everything.
Is he listening?
Still not being cognizant of that, still asked her to do something, and you know what? She replied, and she said, "Okay, I'll do it," even though you can see on her face that she was tired. Interactions like that. Not seeing women who are submissive, yet seeing them being stepped over, neglected, seeing them not treated right.
I'm gonna pause you real quick, Mama. You said marriage is...
So the point she's making is that they've been consuming all this movie of women suffering, and a lot of people have fatherless households and stuff like that, and if all those consume is this Hollywood stuff, and so what they've been fed is stepping over women all over the place. And when a woman pauses, when they say pora or they say obey, some of that, right? Remember I said it's not absolute and you should avoid doing that, because some of those men are watching MTR and they might overreact when you do that. So keep it completely, keep the sanctity of that ceremony, ladies. Keep it. Don't do that. Say the vows as it is, be serious, right? And leave the banters for the reception, okay? But I'm just saying to the men, if your woman was not here to hear this, don't overreact. You should be sure of yourself. You should know who you're marrying already, right? And if that person is that bad, you should see that ahead and not marry them, right? But different story. But she was saying basically that all this is trauma response. So when a woman chuckles or pauses when they stop pour, so she told some story from a movie. I think she said Sana Lathan, right? And so I heard what she's saying about that. Was he listening? I doubt it, but I don't think so. But he's about to ask a question. Let's go into it.
What again?
Connection.
Pause you real quick, Mama. You said marriage is about what again?
Connection. God literally said when two become one.
She even made a good point. She even justified it with the Bible. She said, God literally said when two become one. Look at his face. Look at his face. Oh boy. Now this is funny. NTR, this is funny. Okay, if you look at the title of this video, what does it say? It says, I publicly argued with a black woman and regretted it. That title, let me give him benefit of that, because I do put title there to get you to come and see video, so I'll leave that alone. Okay, but clearly he's trying to trigger black women in particular. Okay, but I would hope that when black women came into this video, they left a little bit better than they came in, right? Probably not. That's not gonna happen now. Right? Because they're gonna get triggered by this whole thing.
Wait, don't make that face when you quoted the Bible before.
He was quoting the Bible. He was because they contradict themselves all the time. Toby says, I'm curious, what is this guy's idea of a perfect marriage? What will make him happy in marriage? He's probably going to tell us in a minute, I promise. He's going to tell us in a minute here. Let's see. Let's continue. Let's see. Where is it? Okay.
Like, quote the whole Bible when he said, a man shall leave his family and the two shall become one.
So if it's about connection, then you hated that video and what that woman did.
Yeah, I thought
that she disrespected that man in that connection. When the pastor, after having counseling, when he said obey, she disconnected.
Yeah, I feel.
No, she did not disconnect. They were laughing together. They were all connected. You were stuck on the words. Words are important. Words are important. So it must be the word. No. If you look at the vibe, the emotions of that event, they were quite connected. It was banterish. Not heavy joke, I guess. If that husband had been following you, that will effectively become a heavy joke that can destroy their relationship. Okay, but that would be because he's been consuming too much toxic stuff. Okay, and then it becomes life. But from what we saw in that video, there was a connection. Okay, there's an actual wedding going on. There's an actual wedding going on in that video. So what are you talking about? There's no connection. And she's right. Marriage is about connection. If you're not connected with that other individual, it's pointless. If there's no unity between you and a spouse, don't do it. You will just collect for no reason. You will just waste everybody's energy, money, time. It's not gonna work. Not connection words. In reality, emotionally, holistically, in every aspect of the human experience. No, not the least of that is the physical, tangible stuff, like what words was being said. Because people can lie to their teeth. You just lied. You were using Bible, she used the Bible, and somehow you try to disconnect from that.
Why the fuck you lying?
Let's continue.
I feel like that's a lot of things that happen.
You're not talking about love and basketball, Mama. When looking at that video, she was disconnected.
It was love and basketball.
Because at the point that the pastor said obey, she disrespected him, her family, and the church in front of millions. That got nothing to do with a movie.
Disrespect.
Love and basketball. That's reality. In reality,
she was using the love and basketball thing. This is what my father was saying yesterday. Don't marry a person that does not know their left hand from their right hand side. Okay, they can speak grammar. Okay, I'm sorry, no shot at MTR, but goddamn, I'm open to the conversation if he wants to, but too much. Okay, don't marry a person that does not know their left from their right hand side. This is an example of it. Okay, the young lady, there was a point that she was making with the fact that Hollywood has fed. She was actually making a point that Hollywood has fed certain rhetoric, and this was a trauma response. But he's stuck. He's about to use that and flip that to something else entirely. That this is not Hollywood. This is reality. In reality, those some of the talking points of this man is that this Hollywood movies and all becomes reality because media is just that powerful. Media is part of our reality. The perception that media creates is part of our reality. But let me guess, you're about to completely discount that and pretend that that's not reality. And let me guess, you're about to claim your red pill, but you are engaged with fantasies. No, the reality is that media is controlling your reality. Is that a good or bad thing? Is neither. It's just the reality. Like, just see it for what it is. Right? Just see it for what it is so you can mitigate. There are risks. There are downsides to that. There are upsides to it. One of the upsides is that you have 500,000 followers. Your whole livelihood is based off of this media. Right? The downside to that is that some other people have the same power to use the platform to create certain rhetoric that does not help you with the type of lifestyle you're looking for, or quote unquote, like Toby said, your idea of marriage is not possible because of the power of media. That's what media is, neither good nor bad. It depends on what you do with it. It's completely up to you, the individuals, right? But media, you're absolutely right, is powerful. Hollywood movie, Nollywood, the point she was making was that if they've been feeding this to women for so long, including them actually experiencing this in their lives, it only makes sense that they will respond a certain type of way. But let me guess, no, they shouldn't respond that way. They should respond the way you want. And somehow you think you will create better results.
Not be juju be that.
Yeah.
See, she disrespected.
It's if I love you, the Mac.
He kept saying disrespected.
Family, he disrespected herself, her family, him, his family, and the church. In reality,
says who?
Not
Him.
in movie.
Says him.
I was using that as an example.
Now he's a powerful guy because he has a followership, and this young lady called into the show, to his show. Part of that, a bigger part of the reason why she's calling into that show is because he has a big following. He's effectively an authority. Don't get it twisted. He's effectively an authority in these conversations, right? So she felt the urge. She felt compelled to call in to engage this man. She's actively showing respect as she's engaging him. He's completely disconnected from that respect. He's talking about an idea of a disrespect that he's actually not sure of. It's actually not reality. But somehow that's taking over the energy, including us, because I'm reacting to it right now and you're watching right now. Right? That's how powerful our minds are. That's how powerful our emotions are, right? But he's disconnected from what I'm saying right now, right? But he's still creating a particular type of reality. And he's going to be continued to disconnect from that, right? Just watch what happens. Continue. Let's continue.
To explain like why that reaction came from her. I'm not saying that reaction is right. I'm saying
he missed that.
Don't explain it. Be angry at it. Because that's...
Don't explain it. This is his idea of marriage if you're looking for it. Don't explain it. Be angry at it. Anger is an emotion. You don't just control it. Okay? You can indirectly control anger. That's not something you get to say, I will no longer be angry anymore. Excuse me. It's something that you have to go through rehab. If you have certain level of anger issues, you have to go through rehab. They have to help you recondition yourself actually to be able to cope. Oftentimes, your temperament is just what it is. What you can do with it is learn how to cope, right? Learn how to position yourself so you don't get triggered the wrong way again. But the way he just used it, said, be angry, He's commanding you be angry, right? So there's a disconnect to the actual nature of anger, right? He does not understand how anger works. He can't realize that he's angry right now because he's just angry, not because somebody told him to be angry. And he can't get it. He does not get it why this young lady is not angry, right? In fact, he's not interested in why, like, the powers that be in the world, okay? The one thing they figured out is to ask why. After they get the answer, they ask another why, right? But the least power, the rest of the folks in the world, they have one little experience. They conclude that they have all the answers in the world. Let me take that back. Not one little experience, a massive experience. Let me not diminish people's experience, right? People's experiences are their experience. But in the grand scheme of things, it's their little experience. And they will conclude what they think the answer is for the rest of the world. That's the source of generalizations and oversimplifications. So his desire right now is be angry at that young lady for not saying the word obey instead of the small clip on TikTok. Not in real life, because we actually don't know that. But inside of that small clip on TikTok, you should just be angry. Be angry. Right? These are the same people that will say, please do not police how I talk. But they have the audacity to tell you when you should express certain types of emotions. This is confusion. This is some of the things that's creating confusion for people, right? He's actually angry that this young lady is not angry. So he doesn't understand why he's angry too, either. It's either he understands or he's in denial about it. It's either he doesn't understand or he's in complete denial about it, right? But he's commanding this young lady to be angry. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how that's gonna work. Because you can also bring this into a marriage. You should react this way. Right? As opposed to, he reacted that way. Let me seek some understanding. He reacted that way. He's still responsible for his reactions. Those are his actions. But I'm in a romantic relationship with this person, and it benefits me particularly when I try to understand where they're coming from. Where's that reaction coming from? That emotional reaction. No. They should not react that way. They should react this way. It might be a solution, but it's short term. Because they reacted that way for a reason that you're not taking the time. You're not patient enough to find out. Because you're so angry, you just want them to just be as angry.
I'm saying...
Don't explain it. Be angry at it. Because that's your sister. The sister code that y'all forever refuse to break and continue to make unaccountable excuses for. That's your sister. She's a reflection of the state of the union today in the connection between black man and black woman. Go look at the comments. Go look at the comments underneath that video. And it's black woman after black woman praising what she did. This ain't a movie. This ain't for fake. This is for real. This is for real. So men like me.
He said, go look at the comments. Black women were praising that woman. Okay. I'm going to scroll through here. Let's see if I can find some comment. I'm going to read 3 comments for you. And let's see how his own comments are working. I mean, you know, comments in echo chambers, they tend to have the same, they tend to have the same thing, right? Watch this. Watch my original comments regarding this situation here. Okay, that's the original one. You should regret it, arguing with someone who equivocates and dodges accountability. That woman, the video I just saw, she started with accountability. But you missed it. Well, how long have I been telling you that even when you see a feminine woman, you won't recognize it because you're just angry at whatever your idea of masculine women are? I've been telling you for the longest, right? You will miss it because you've made up your mind and you have an idea of what you want to say to them. Dodges accountability is like trying to build on shifting sand. He said you should regret it. Arguing with someone who equivocates dodges accountability is like trying to build on a shifting sand. That's correct. But the part that's wrong is that this woman was actually accountable from the jump. Here's the next one. Shame that most men are expected to deal with women with their trauma and daddy issues. Shake my head. This is what echo chambers look like. Let me look at the next one. As a woman married for 17 years, somebody is about to say gibberish, but maybe I'm wrong. Submissive doesn't mean no opinion. It means respect and honor. That woman has none. That woman has none. Yeah. You're speaking from a different context. You have no idea what you're talking about. Let me read one more. So I said, this female said, women who love their men will never disrespect their man. A woman who is in love with you will not disrespect you. She might love you and disrespect you because she's caught up in a moment. That's a fact of life, because you're actually doing life together. Crisis will happen, conflict will happen. The least thing you should be worried about is respect at that point in time. She would try her best, but when she's caught up in her emotions, all bets are off, especially if you engage with overreaction. It is what it is. Okay. Then in the very next sentence, she said, yes, she disrespected him. No, she got manipulated into that idea. She did not disrespect him. She was bowing. She was submitting her life to this man. She was getting married to this man. Something you might want. Sounds like you're obsessed with wanting. And I'm advising you right now, stay away from marriage, because it's not going to work. Okay. You're obsessed with marriages and you're not able to make it work. Yes, I am shaming you if that's how you interpret this, but I need you to get the point. Leave that alone. Get the point. You are projecting. That woman is literally submitting her life to that man in real time. And the only thing you can see in that picture is your own outlook on life. You have to blame yourself for that. You have to hold yourself accountable for that. Look in the mirror and say, that was me that I don't know these people. I have no idea where this video came from, but I saw myself all up in that video and I just couldn't help it. And I knew that I was going to make a certain amount of money if I just pushed this video out there. Okay. She told on herself. Also note how she wanted the two people to sit down as adults. That's the reality about any type of collaboration in life. You have to sit down as adults sometimes. Why is that such a strange idea? After they exchange wedding vows to discuss and the disrespect. No, it's the reality. No matter how perfect your marriage is, you have to sit down and rub minds together sometimes. Are you paying attention to the type of mindset we're talking about? We've just addressed at least three people with the same mindset in that echo chamber. Our job is to break into it. We're breaking into it. Okay. Let me come to the chat a little bit. Sister. Let's see. Coconut head, only God. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do marriage. If you sound like either side of this type of rhetoric, don't do marriage. Okay. You're better off being single. I promise. Okay. If you think that one moment during the wedding is what determines the fate of a marriage, I think you should stay away from marriage. Okay. Can't change this mindset or something special. What you're saying can't change. I'm not sure what you mean. Lumping all black people together. This is the same thing white people do. Stereotyping. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But that's what we're doing. We're calling it out as we see it. Let's continue.
Men like me take a look at that in the State of the Union
and walk away.
We go the other way.
All right.
We go get our passports.
I think you should continue to do that.
Because why?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Mama.
Because my thing is like, what happens after the anger? You know what I'm saying? Because that is this conversation that we can discuss. That's why I'm bringing up examples. I'm not bringing up examples to make excuses. I'm bringing.
You said what happens after what?
After anger.
What happens after the anger?
Anger of What?
You said you said you were angry. You said that.
Is he listening?
Disrespectful, and I'm not giving her excuses, but I'm saying I'm giving context. If we understand that is a trauma response.
No, fuck up. No, hold.
4 tickets for just $80 all in can only mean one thing.
Well, MTR is a coconut head. There's no doubt about that.
A trauma response at your wedding? Huh? How? Listen, that. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that is going to last? You think that relationship is going to last?
If they don't talk about it, then no.
If they keep laughing like that, it will last. Absolutely. If they keep laughing the way they were laughing in that video, it will laugh. It will last longer than your singlehood.
What'd you say?
If they don't discuss it, if they don't like sit down and have a discussion, like why did you have that outburst? Then
Why would they even discuss? She's now buying into this stupid rhetoric. The guy had no problem with what she did. It was all laughter and banter. That's what we saw. That's the reality, not the reality you're creating on YouTube, right? And if we're going to do any type of assumptions, we need to assume what we saw, which is they were laughing, right? Now, if for some weird reason that happens to be, he happens to be a follower of MTR, and it's like, yeah, why would you say that? I'm not even sure now that this marriage is real anymore. If he does that, then what she's saying is absolutely correct. They can sit down and talk about it. Because not only would that happen once during the course of a marriage, for the rest of their lives, including if they do end up divorced and breaking up, they will continue to have relationships. They will have to learn how to sit down and have conversations. And it's okay to be angry as long as, if the sun doesn't set on it, right? But be guided when we talk about anger. We need to be guided about that, especially if you have so much anger, you're trying to encourage other people to be angry just as much as angry as you are.
no. Why are you making that look like
He's
having
angry.
a
He said he's
discussion
angry.
with two adults can't solve something? That's what I'm saying. What do you do after the anger? What do you do after you lash out? Are you going to sit down and have a discussion?
I want to be
about it?
clear because maybe I heard you incorrectly. You said if they don't talk about
We're
it,
not listening.
then it probably won't last.
Yeah. Because if they don't, if he doesn't confront her about it and be like, okay, ha, very funny, jokey joke, I did not like that. So that's why I said, what happens after the anger? Okay, that video came out. They're going to have to
Do
go
you really
home
think?
and-
I'm going to ask you a question. Mama, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you really think at the point after marriage has happened, when the man loses his leverage to leave the relationship, do you really think she's going to fix her behavior?
Yeah, because if she cares enough about him, she will.
All right. So in terms of losing leverage to leave the relationship, both people lose a little bit of leverage to leave a relationship once you get married. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult to leave a relationship once you get into marriage. The longer you are inside of it, the more invested you become. The more vested in that marriage you become. So, no, you don't want to leave. It's not that simple. It's not as simple as the of what you're making out to be, right? It's not as simple as the man just can't leave. It's both people that just can't walk out. The longer they stay in it, it just gets more difficult for obvious reasons. It's not that deep. It's for simple reasons, like the longer they stay, the more they want to stay in it, right? So they both lose a little bit of leverage. It gets a little bit tougher to back off from the marriage and that's what makes it work. That means now that's the whole point of the ceremony. You're now engaging, you're saying vows to each other so that it's a commitment. You're committing to being there for the longer term. That's the whole point.
What?
You live in a delusion.
I'm not.
You live in a dream world.
I'm not.
You live in a delusion. You live in a dream world. You're not on Earth. That's not how that works.
That's exactly.
Now, at the same
precisely how it
time,
works.
at the same time,
She's right.
she won. She won because that guy doesn't have the friendship circle. That guy doesn't have the relationships in his life. That guy may not even have the father to have him grow a pair of balls.
There's this assumption that people that are married don't no longer have friendship cycle. Both men and women do it, right? You no longer have friendship cycle. Have you ever heard of friends who are all married? That's number one. Or some of your friends that are not yet married, or some of them that are divorced. Right? Ever heard that before? This idea of marriage in their head is that you go into this isolation and you're no longer connected to anything else outside anymore. You're out of the game. You no longer have your friends anymore. If you ask me, sound like a single woman. I'm sorry.
And leave the situation. That shit will never be fixed because prior to marriage,
like a backup plan. Yep.
He has leverage. After marriage, he loses.
This is why I said.
And now he's locked into her. And he laughed like a simp the entire.
Of course, like a simp. The simps are always the first to call out simps. They can't wait to find someone else to call their own name. The simps are actively looking for people they can call simps. It's undefeated. Just look around you. Every time somebody says simps first, okay, usually that's a simp looking for someone to call a simp. MTR, you are a simp. It's okay though. Okay, we're working to save you. Because the last thing you want to be as a single person is a simp too. You will just be taken away from your own happiness. It's just a bad place to be. But anyway, Toby said leverage sounds like a backup plan. Yep. Patricia says, I agree with you, Ola. It would appear that they both have the same outlook and compatible personality. We don't know them. It appears we don't know these people. Right? But I know enough. I know more about MTR than I know them. Because he's telling on himself. Right? He's telling on himself right now. That's amazing. Amazing. Yep. Let's keep going.
Entire way when the vows were said. The entire way. He has no idea what he's in store for. She has a tyrant mouth. And she has no respect for him. But she wants the wedding.
A tyrant's mouth.
You are.
Wow.
If you really think that it's going to get better when after he loses leverage, you are absolutely insane, mama. You live in a dream world, a world that's not of reality.
The incentive is to care. That's the incentive. Her love for him, if it's there, that's the incentive to care, because you wouldn't disrespect someone you care about. That's a human thing. That's having nature. That's being careful. I'm not in a delusion. My mom,
she's marrying him.
Care about people and to respect people.
Dumb.
I grew up with cousins, pastor cousins, who will sit there and tell you, women do never tear down a man. I grew up in that.
Right.
So when I say,
so that's why she's trying to. What is this
him,
young lady trying to do right now? Are you paying attention to what she's doing? She's trying to save a man. Don't do that, ladies. It's not worth it. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You can try, but it's not sustainable. Don't save a man. Don't help him see a point that you feel like it's more healthy. Or don't do that. Don't do that. You can try. It might work short term. It's not sustainable. Generally speaking, it's not sustainable. It's the same thing where we tell you that don't try to be his therapy. Okay, what's going on, IG? Okay, don't. It's not sustainable. Don't try to. Don't. I mean, just conversation, debate. That's fine. Okay, but I also noticed that you tend to engage it until they drain you. They will drain the nonsense out of you. It's not sustainable. Don't. If you know that you have a very soft space and you're actually trying to help, it's better stay away. If you're just looking for a little bass boss, listen. If it's just entertainment for you, I would just say be careful. Okay, that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to save him. It's not gonna work. She will get shamed. Not only will she get shamed, she will get shamed by all 500,000 followers that he has. It's not going to work. I need you to pay attention to that, ladies, okay?
You will talk to him, because if he expresses that that was a joke, you might have took that as a joke, but I didn't. If she...
Baby girl.
Let me finish, please, before you cut me off.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that the incentive should have been, if he feels disrespected, because I saw the video, it was a little jokey joke, it was laughing. I'm saying it was laughing. I'm giving the person the benefit of doubt.
She thinks it was a joke. She feels it was a joke. More importantly, more particularly, a feeling from what she saw, her perspective on what she saw, which we all saw, is that was jokey joke, banterish. A lot of time inside of marriage, you find yourself in that space. And you will become obsessed with the need to be right. And she's telling you like it's not that deep, but you don't get it. But you will get it in divorce court, I promise. You just, listen, not just one moment. You have to do it long enough. Okay, sometimes you'll be doing it for years, you don't realize. Everything is so serious for you. You don't know how to just calm down and say something is a joke. Okay, it's not a joke. Babe, I don't find that funny. Don't overreact. Excuse me. Second day in a row, I forgot to bring water. Right? What are you gonna do as a modern man? You're gonna be like, you thought that was a joke? I know I did that the African way, sorry. No, you thought that was a joke? Masculine man. A masculine man thought that. Masculine men don't think that was a joke. Masculine men will never agree that that's a joke. Drink water. Don't choke yourself. It's really not that deep. It's not. It's not.
Yes, it was disrespectful.
Did you know that animals listen to dominate?
The only reason why she's agreeing that it was disrespectful is because she's being manipulated into that idea. She didn't think it was disrespectful. I don't think it was disrespectful. I think that woman was submitting her life to that man. Something you fantasize about. I'm not shaming you. It's just the reality. It's obvious. I try not to shame you, but if I have to make a point, I have to make a point. Okay? Something you fantasize about that you would like to happen someday, but in the weirdest way. You want it to be all serious, masculine, feminine, duty, obligation. It's a wedding. The work is not done at the wedding. The work is done inside of the marriage on an ongoing basis. The chunk of that responsibility is going to fall on you. Why? Because you said you want to be a leader. Just like on the job, like in the real world. Yeah. It's just the reality. Oh, by the way, you also get to take credit when it does come out successfully. Right? Does that mean she's not doing anything? No. She's just in her own lane. She responds and she stays in her own lane. She responds accordingly if you've done your work of vetting properly, because that's still your responsibility, because there are some unruly women out there, but that's not what we're talking about most of the time. We're talking about normal people most of the time that you're not competent to keep in a household. That's what we're talking about most of the time. That's why you're generalizing, because it's happening so many times. You don't have a choice than to say it's 80, 85, 90, 95%. Because that's basically all you're seeing. Those are the only content you're consuming too. Let's continue here.
Joke. Yes, it was disrespectful. Yes, it should have. There's always a time and a place for a joke. That joke did not go over well. I am saying that if she, the woman,
a joke.
Let me finish, please. I know you're getting angry.
This is the modern woman's sister code.
Be angry.
This is the sister code because she's joking on her wedding day in front of the pastor after they went through counseling.
Some of them act when they do this. They need to act the masculine thing. Let's show them a masculine. It's actually acting for some of them. A joke. Bro, you need peppermint. Relax. Everyone around you are going to they will continue to avoid you. Yeah, but they're supposed to. She's masculine. No. It's just you. There's a disconnect. Something she said earlier.
For the same thing, during your wedding vows, you joke on the most important day of your life. You joke. You give her reprieve for joking and the benefit of the doubt in lieu of him. That's the sister code. Y'all are looking at it live and direct. That's the sister code. No matter what it is that men say, they will always defend each other. They will just say, oh, it was just a joke.
That's a good thing. In fact, I find it weird when I see women throwing women under the bus on a consistent basis. That's the weirdest thing ever. Most men are not attracted to that either. Because if they were, they would be marrying them in their echo chamber. They're not. They're not marrying them. I mean, out of millions of people that follow Kevin Samuels, you can call out 8 people that got married. Right? That's not shade to him. I'm just saying. Right? It's an echo chamber. A certain rhetoric that continues to push. It doesn't help you get married more. Not really. Right? And I think it's attractive that a woman is, even though when she's, even though when she sees that she gives benefit of the doubt to, quote unquote, remember her sister. What is so weird about that? Jesus Christ. Even when I'm talking here, a part of me wants to say, that's my brother, like my brother Bishop, my brother Ekene, my brother. I keep saying that because a part of me is like, damn, I don't want to throw these niggas under the bus, but damn, they can't get their shit together. Right? Because naturally, as a human being, you want to protect your culture, your religion, the group of people you belong to. It's the weirdest thing to not even at least have a little bit of a resistance to just want to throw people under the bus. But somehow you want her to do that. I think she's a normal woman. I think she's doing what she's supposed to do. And at that, she's very wise. She's actually leading the conversation. Another weird thing for me. Why is she the one leading this conversation? How is she leading? Because she's much more calm. She's paying more attention. She's actually trying to understand where you're coming from. She sees where you're going. She tried to agree with you that it's disrespectful, which, no, she wasn't disrespectful. But it's not working for you. See, this is what I keep telling you. If you have to pander, it will still not work. Okay? Particularly in terms of creating lasting solutions. It still won't work. Okay? If anything is short term, the people you're pandering to will throw you under the bus. Listen, even on this platform here, we have a lot of ladies here that listen here. I see some of them throw me under the bus. It is what it is. Because what they're hearing is pandering. And that's fine, because this platform really doesn't belong to them. But what I'm trying to explain there is, I want you to understand that if there's no real message for particular individuals, it won't last. It won't. It might last for other purposes, like building a platform, echo chamber. But in terms of lasting solution for individuals, no, it can't work. It doesn't work. It might soothe your wound a little bit small, right? So slowly but surely, very soon, you're gonna find out that this lady, if she engages conversation long enough, she's gonna get drained and then drag him. I've seen that in recent times. And then drag the nonsense out of him. She will show him shaggy.
Hey! Wait! Hey! Wait! Hey! Wait! Yo! Me, nigga!
Shaggy. Okay? Because she would have been drained at that time. You're like, the same thing happens inside of marriages. Don't try to save a man. Okay? Because they will create what they are looking for in you, which is a masculine woman. We have that power as men to create either a masculine or a feminine woman. We have that power, just in case you don't know. The way you feel around us, either you feel safe or secure, will determine that. You don't get to determine that. You can learn one or two things here and there. You can learn from Chloe, hypergamous, how to be feminine. You can learn that. Some of those things. You can learn some of those. But if it's not at some point matching with something that's coming from the inside, it's fake. And eventually we'll be able to tell. And you probably will find yourself among the multitudes of the MTRs and trying to pander to them and satisfy them. It still won't work because what they see is what they see. They will continue to see what they see. Red flags.
All jokes that are funny are based in 90% truths, mama. If you think that was a joke, you are absent. You are the sister code. You're
brought
enveloped.
in the textbook.
You're enveloped. And even though you say all of these things about respecting men, you don't have it within your soul.
Sign language is coming up.
You don't have it within your soul.
Shaming, insults are coming up.
You respect men when the times are good. But when the times are not good, you disrespect the fuck out of men. I guarantee you.
He's getting frustrated.
No, you don't love men down to your soul because you would have just as much empathy for him as you have for her. But you have no empathy for him. That was not a joke. Men like me are not taking that shit. We're not taking that shit as a joke. We're taking that shit for real.
I said, okay.
He's right. Men like him are taking that for real. Believe them when you see them. Don't try to help them, ladies. Don't try to correct them. Don't, unless you're just doing basketballs, okay? Don't. It's not gonna work. You're gonna get drained because what you're looking at has a long history. It's coming from a place you don't understand, that you're not privy to. Don't try to, like, unless you're trained for that and you have an office and they paid you for that. Don't do it, okay? You're creating content, I can understand that, right? You're on a panel, just content creation, I can understand that. But even at that, you will be drained every now and then. It's not gonna work. Don't try to save them. Don't try to help them. Okay? Now, you are a helpmeet. So don't get me wrong. Don't take me out of context. There's some people that you're like, oh, this is a good man and stuff like that. And you find yourself in crisis, a disagreement, stuff like that. I just realized that light was on. That's why my ambience looks a little different. If you like this better than the all dark stuff, let me know, by the way. Right? But don't try to be people's therapy. It's not gonna work, you know. They should bring something, a man, not women. I'm not talking about women now. A man should bring something to the table for you to work with. Right? He needs to be able to take care of himself and a couple of other people. Yes, financially, emotionally, especially. If he can't make you feel safe and secure around him, don't put yourself in harm's way. Okay? You're not set up like that. Okay? And gentlemen, your masculinity is not in your loud voice. It's not. I'm confused now. Okay? It's not how loud you are. That's not masculinity. It's how sure you are of yourself. It's something about your energy. When you enter a room, everybody just respects it without uttering one word. You don't have to say one word. What's going on, Prince? All right.
And then, you know what happens after we get that? We have a discussion like adults. If
she's not responding to the energy you bring into the room, she's not the one. Okay? With that being said, if you see the same response on a consistent basis, you owe yourself to self-reflect and you know, and pay attention to that. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe you're socially awkward. Maybe there's a way you move. It's good for you to do that. Good for you. You're not doing it for women. You're doing it for yourself. Right? But when you're so sure of yourself and you carry yourself a certain way, it's just a way that people move when they are around you. It's just what it is. They police themselves literally because of the way you are, because of your lifestyle, right? And that trickles down to when you meet a young lady and you're trying to get married to them. It trickles down. It shows up, right? They just feel safe and secure and they can't really explain it. They might have been masculine with the next dude over there. Oh, so you're telling men to take risk. No, I'm telling men to also engage their soft life. You're overthinking. You're losing out big time. You're seeing red flags everywhere you go because that's all you see. Masculine black women, that's all you see. If that's the common denominator is you.
To me, and
you don't get to generalize that. You don't get to say, oh, it's just like that across the board. Have you seen? You've been out of the dating scene? No. It's consistent. Shout out to MTR. I mean no disrespect, but this is in public. You're 38 years old, you haven't been married. The common denominator is you. If that's what you want. And the idea that men like me walk away, that's shaming language. You're telling on yourself. Clearly, you don't want to walk away. And it's not working. Could it work?
I said something that I would, in my mind, thought was a joke, and you were offended by it. You made it clear that you were offended by what I said, that it's up to me, that if I cared about you.
What if feeding your dog fresh Whole Foods was easy?
My incentive is said that it's up to me, that if I cared about you,
just pay attention to the lady now.
Is my love for you.
It's coming out.
If you said that offended me, then me as a woman, me as your wife, me as someone who loves you, will sit there and say, I apologize and let's move forward. I have a problem with that word obedience. I have that problem with the word submission because of daddy issues, because I didn't see it benefited in the other women.
Because of she's does not sound like accountability. Now she's holding herself accountable. She's saying, I apologize. She's saying, I would apologize if you tell me something offended you. Right? But I want you to guess. Do you think that's enough for MTR? That's the gentleman on the screen. Do you think that was enough for him? Well, we know it wasn't enough for him because he took this video to YouTube, and this video now has 57,000 views on it. And he's enjoying all of the negative reaction to this young lady. He's loving them, eating them up.
Or if I care about you and I understand that you did not find that funny, that you did not find that a joke, then me as a woman who loves you and my love and my care for you is incentive, then I will be adult enough to have that conversation, and I will be adult enough to apologize. That's where that comes in. That's why I said, what happens after the anger? Do we sit down as adults and talk about it and unpack it and unpack the trauma? Or are we still going to yell at each other and be mad at each other? That's the difference, because you have to sit down as an adult and say, hey, this bothers me. Okay, as an adult, I have to respond, because that's how you do proper communication. It's not about, oh, I'm mad, not about, oh, I disrespect men. If my man tells me that I am uncomfortable with something, then me as a woman will sit down and talk to him and unpack that. Period.
Stop the cap.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't. I don't care.
You didn't hear me, Saints? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Let me try to repeat what I just said. Jesus. Wow, 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 wow. Even if you find a young lady that does this, my Lord, I obey, I'm submissive, with pearls around her neck, right? Red lipstick, feminine, the look, right? And she said, it's not gonna work, MTR. With this mindset, don't engage marriage. Don't do it. It's not gonna work. She's gonna run away from you. In fact, she might wait longer than usual, but the longer she waits before she runs away from you, the more it's going to hurt. Take it from me. It's not going to work. Even if you find it, because you can't recognize it, and you will create what you fear the most, which is a masculine woman. A masculine woman. Because she will have a need to protect herself around you. Very, very important.
If I come to my man and I say, you know what, I joke about submission, I joke about obedience, and he comes to me and says, oh, I don't find that funny. I, as a traditional man, value leadership. You know what? Then I'll sit there and unpack with him the trauma and sit down and unpack with him.
She won't. She won't do that unless she feels safe and secure. Take that from me. Okay? And no, being loud with her is not going to make her feel safe and secure. Okay? Sorry. If she doesn't feel loved, safe, and secure, she won't do everything she's saying right now is all cap. When reality kicks in, she's read it in the book somewhere.
Cap.
She was honest to say that the experience she had, that she had daddy issues. So she has issues with the word obedience and submission, right? So if you're going to engage her, you don't want to sit with that. You need to be watching more actions. You need to be looking at the data as opposed to the ideas that people put in your head, right? You need to pay attention to what she actually does, right? Not what she's saying. Because like I told you right now, I guarantee you everything she's saying right now, when she finds herself in a relationship with someone like you, she's going to attempt to try to save a man and be with that man. Or she won't say it out in words, but she's going to attempt to save a man who is masculine. And then she'll collect wutu. It's going to be bad. It's not going to work. Because that's not how we're set up. Okay? That's not how we're set up. So she doesn't know that she's lying. She is lying. When she's caught up in her emotions, it's not going to be pretty. Okay? In fact, the longer she waits, those resentments she's building because she was trying to do the right thing, she's appeasing you like she's doing right now. Oh, yeah. But you see that woman that was laughing at the wedding, that she felt free enough to banter. If she feels free and feels safe and secure to continue to show up like that, including when you decide you want to make a little correction, which there's nothing wrong with making correction. Say, babe, don't joke around with that. I want us to be true to our words at the ceremony, depending on how you do it, right? I'm just saying, if you hang on to every word, the action, the algorithm that speak louder than your words, right? That's gonna tell. She will run away from you. This lady right here will run away from you. She will. By the time she's running away from you, she'll be exhausted. Okay. How many of you saw Dr. Shala crying on Instagram today about some woman that's something happened, lost her life 6 years into a marriage? Right? I don't want to talk about those extreme situations. Even at a very, very mild level like this, she will leave you. She will leave you because she doesn't want to end up as a worst case scenario. Do you not understand that? It's more actions than getting hung up on words.
How I did not see submission benefit any woman in my life.
She did not see it.
If that is happening, if that is a trauma response, because like you said, there's always a little truth behind every.
But if a woman is this self-aware and she's saying it out in words, that's a plus. That's better than a woman who actually would not admit she can't because she doesn't realize she thinks she's perfect. She thinks like, yeah, that's your business. Obedience and submission is nonsense. I'm not doing it, right? Or a woman says, obedience and submission, yes, it's what I read, it's what we're supposed to do. But she is disconnected from the idea that in real life, she might find herself in a position where she will respond disrespectfully. If she's disconnected from that nature of a human being, she's worse than the person who is self-aware. Did you know that, or you didn't know that? Oh, that's too much. That's too many dimensions going on there, right? But that's the reality. It's more of people's actions. You got to pay attention. Hey, Chidima, good to see you. You got to pay attention. Yeah, you shut down. Yeah, Toby, you just shut down. The best you can do for him is shut down because you don't feel safe. You just shut down. Like, and if you're truly unruly, you're probably you will collect regardless, one way or the other. Okay? Will never open up if I don't feel safe. This is true. This is actually true for men too, a little bit differently, but it's also true. Okay? That's all people remember, how they feel around you. That's all their mind remember, not necessarily what they admit to or aware of remembering. The awareness is another level entirely. If somebody is this aware and they're talking, I would say with just a little bit of coaching here and there, she'll be a good wife. That doesn't mean that she will do everything she's saying on this screen right now. I bet you will buy into it, MTR, that she will do it. I know you were saying, no, you will be disrespectful, but no, you don't mean that. You're actually trying to believe that she would. You will probably fall for it. And then you'll collect.
That's why I talked about trauma. That's why I brought up love and hip hop. You have to be mature enough to talk to him. That's why I kept saying talk. Because there's care in that. That's why I said that. And I'm not saying that she's right. I'm not saying that it was accepted. I'm not saying that. I am saying.
While both NetSuite and QuickBooks offer software designed to help businesses manage their accounting process.
For that man, if that man comes up to her and says after that, hey, I don't like how this went down.
If he did,
with the incentive of her love and the value of that union, the value of that man, will sit down and talk to her and sit down and unpack that, because that's what people do. That's what marriage is about. If you hear marriage and hear anyone talk about marriage, they always talk about communication. Why? Because we're human. We're going to mess up. We're going to fuck up. That's just inevitable.
She's on point.
But you, as a human being who loves someone, has to be able to sit down and talk with them about everything and anything. So that's not the
Yeah. Okay. First, are you married?
No.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Let that marinate. She's not married. She's 23. She's gonna be fine. She is light years ahead of her years at 23. Not married, 23. Now, it's very important that I point out here that MTR is not married either, and he's 38. Okay, he's 15 years older than this young lady. Okay, this young lady is gonna fall in love with a MTR. They're gonna call it masculine. I like manly men. I like manly men. Both of them will collect.
Sorry.
Don't do it, ladies. Okay. Because when you start hearing a rhetoric over and over and over and over again, it becomes the truth. Yes, effectively, in your mind, it becomes your truth. It actually might still be a lie, but it's going to, truth oftentimes takes time to catch up. That truth is undefeated. It will catch up. There's a reason why she was leading this conversation. Where did Chiye come out of nowhere? There's a reason why she was the one leading this conversation. What she just observed in this lady is what they call a masculine woman. Why? Because she was the one bringing safety, security, order into this context. Now, they're not together romantically, so I'm just using as an example. Okay? That's what it looks like. It's not necessarily wrong. It's a necessary evil that will show up when it's a necessary evil that will show up when there's a need for it. Okay? Okay? But it's not sustainable. If you're a typical woman, it's not sustainable. You need an actual masculine man. Okay? A man who is sure of himself. A man that will not be arguing with you on what a masculine woman look like. If you show up as a masculine woman, that's what it is. It is what it is. And you don't get to argue that you're not masculine. Okay? He's seeing you as not agreeable. Maybe rightfully so. Maybe he's spewing nonsense. Okay? But please don't stay in your lane. Okay? Your power is in your lane. Being a woman, look for when you feel safe and secure. That's what you're looking for. Okay? maybe I can help. It's 50-50. I'm warning you on that 50-50 nonsense. I'm telling you right now, this is what it looks like. Okay, that's what 50-50 looks like. There's no synergy, there's no polarity. You're not one. If you're doing 50-50, you're still two. You're competing with each other. You're marking registers. Did he show up? Did you show up? Did you show up to your duty, obligation as a feminism? Femininity. Those are just words. That's not reality. Those are just words. You know? Masculine by them. You have to put H. Masculine. M-A-S-H. So that it can be actually masculine. I was giving MTR so much benefit of the doubt because he tended to adjust a little bit. Like I was like, he's so deep in there. He's so deep in there. He's red pill, and it's gonna take a lot to save him. And the only person that can save him is himself. Don't attempt it. Okay, don't do it. Okay, he needs to pay for it. And he needs to stay in the program for 12 months minimum. Okay, minimum. And if you think that you can, see what this young lady, she did it from a place of good intentions. She's just trying to have a conversation. She's leading, but this is how some women collect. Okay, and no, I'm not trying to make it personal. I'm just reacting to what I'm seeing on the screen.
Are you single?
Yes.
Okay, so everything that you say is just
That's just
theory.
well, not even theory. That's what I hear from married.
Some of it is theory. The part where I will sit out there and apologize just because you overreacted, that's all cap. But the intentions, it's not theory. She's right that you should be adult, but it's a should be. That's the part that she's disconnected from it. Should be is a fantasy. In reality, you'll be caught up in emotions, and it will take a minute before you capture yourself back and say, okay, we need to talk and sort some things out. This is how it happens in real life. There's nobody that's perfect. When you have conflict, it's going to take a minute for you to catch yourself and regain your emotional centeredness. And then, you know, so she's coming from a better, in terms of intentions, better, much more better than MTR.
Couples, how I hear them talk about their success in marriage. Like communication is always key.
The self-awareness is good.
Even with my girlfriends and they have boyfriends, communication is always key.
How can anyone argue with that?
To your partner.
The only thing I do when somebody say communication, I hear them say communication too much. I've said, do you mean effective communication? Because a lot of people claim communication and they're just talking. Like what she's been doing is communication. Is true, but is it working? It's not, because the person, she didn't read the room. This person is made up his mind. He's not going to listen to what you have to say. And that's going to play out in real life. You need to learn how to read a room. That's part of effective communication, because you want to make sure that the message lands. Right? But she's right at the core of what she's saying. Like how could you disagree with, at least we can start with communication? He said, what about effective communication? But that's not what he's saying. He's much more concerned about feminism. He's concerned about is it Barbie? The new movie. Barbie. He's much more concerned about the unruly, disrespectful black modern women. That's the only thing he's thinking about. So he cannot recognize a feminine woman. In fact, he will create a masculine woman out of a regular woman that shows up to his presence. Only a matter of time.
Okay. And I said before that you live in a delusion, and after hearing you talk, I still think that you live in a delusion. Which is why I'm doing this live right now. Because this is scary. This is how our young people think. 23 years old.
Wait, can I ask you?
I can't. I'm even having a hard time taking it too seriously.
23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Modern woman finger wagging.
Oh, I was just
at the screen as she talking to me.
She was not wagging. I don't know. Did I remember this wrongly? He was doing more of the eyes rolling and wagging. But I don't know, to each his own, but that's what I remember now. She was not wagging, right?
Damn near twice her age, talking to me as if I'm a child. Your degree of modern...
You are damn near twice her age. You are engaged in a conversation with her. She's an adult. You're a full-blown adult. Both of you are unmarried, speaking for your ass. Her conduct is much more better. She's much more respectful. Okay? There was no way she was going to satisfy you. And this is showing up in modern day relationships. When you've made up your mind from generalized talking points, from either side, man or woman, no one can satisfy you because those strongholds, those generalizations are coming from a real place of pain, right? Which respectfully, I don't want to diminish. But effectively, you will continue to perpetuate and recreate it. So at some point, you owe it to yourself to self-reflect and say, am I recreating my conclusions about life, about love, about romance, about life, period? This is not really about marriage. I know you try to shame marriage all the time. Marriage is just an institution. I know what it is. It works the way it works. It doesn't matter what the outlined vow is. If both of you are on the same page, it will work. It's literally as simple as that. But of course, you want to overcomplicate it because of the complex past that you're bringing to the table. And I'm guessing you're not going to listen right now. But for the few of you that will listen, that's why I'm saying this. It's very, very important.
Woman is ridiculous. Your degree of thinking that communication is going to solve their issues after they've gone through marriage counseling, to the point where the pastor called her out.
He didn't hear anything.
To say no.
It's going back to what he heard.
We talked about this. We talked about this.
The pastor was also joking. The pastor was also engaged in the banters. Let me see if I can find it back. The pastor was also engaged in the banter. Let me find it and play it for you. But of course he can't see that because the only thing he can see is what he can see. I mean, he built a 500,000 followership off of this. Shout out to him. Congratulations to him. So there's a reason, because they can relate with wherever it's coming from. That's why.
These are real people at a real wedding exchanging real wedding vows.
Watch it again so you can see.
Pay attention to what
just
happens
in case you missed it.
During said vow exchange.
For better.
For better.
For worse.
For worse.
For richer.
For richer.
For poor.
For poorer.
Yeah. We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Bria made it very clear to Jonathan, you cannot be broke. In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did.
That's always funny.
Repeat that again. You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
Now we're gonna.
The pastor was laughing. MTR. You're speaking for everybody at that wedding, and that's ridiculous. And that's something that men should avoid doing. We do sometimes, but you should avoid doing. You don't assume. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and you. ASS, you and you. You don't know these people. And from what we can see, you're wrong. When the pastor said, we talked about this, that was all part of the joke, MTR. You didn't get that, did you? Yeah, you didn't. Wait, sorry.
Through Disney, whether it be through Oprah, of her ceremony, she reneged. She reneged on the contract. But the sister code has been put into your soul through little bits of content, whether it be through Disney, whether it be through Oprah, whether it be through Barbie, whether it be through whatever woke ass bullshit that doesn't introduce reality to you, doesn't allow you to see that, and just thinks that, well, if she loves them, she'll just,
Here's why, this is a good question that you just asked, Chinye. You said, why is he putting her down to make a point? Because the point he wants to make is already made. Remember I said earlier, he's made up his mind. The point was not to communicate. The point was not to educate. The point was not to impact. The point was not to, maybe to transform, but in a controlling and more manipulative way. But the point is to be right. He just needed to be right. That's all.
You're right.
See, when men and women that don't realize they are right already, they will be obsessed with the need to be right, and they will try to manipulate others. They're not patient for the process to engage other people to even buy into their own ideas, because their ideas possibly could be useful, but they're not that patient. They need to manipulate you into that space. They need instantly. That's why he said earlier, be angry. Like, okay, but I'm not angry. But I'm not angry though.
she'll just figure it out with him because communication is key. He lost his leverage.
He lost his leverage. So leverage to him is a bigger word than communication. Are you getting it? You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. If you see that video, send it to me, I beg.
There was not a person in there that was writing for that young man. I feel bad for him. If anybody...
Everybody at that wedding was literally there for him. He's a successful man as of this moment. He's per society standards everywhere in the world is creating a family. That woman was submitting in response to obedience her life to him. That's what we were watching just now. You're discounting all of that because you're stuck on one word: obey.
He knows him. Tell the man to send me a message. Send me a message. Because the lack of empathy that you have for him, men have to have for ourselves. We have to. Because y'all don't have it for us. We're cannon fodder to modern women. Cannon fodder. Cannon fodder. Cannon fodder. What she did was so disrespectful.
To you, MTR.
Why get married in a church? Why? Don't get married in a church with a pastor. Because you're doing it under God. Don't get married there. Go to Vegas, where you don't have to say no obey shit. They did marriage counseling with a pastor under God, and she reneged in front of millions. Huh? How could you defend that? Oh, because of the trauma that she experienced, and we just don't know. Oh, if he just communicates, huh? He had the simp beta laugh his way through the rest of that ceremony.
Simp beta, the man is getting married. He simp beta laughed. And you, that you're 38 not married, you're making fun of that. And you're not the simp. Please make it make sense, but let's continue. All right, let me see. Listen, let me go to. So he dropped another 11-minute video later on today. But before I play this video right here, I'm just gonna play it through.
How does a funnel change?
Let me see.
Anything, let alone how.
1 second. Sorry about that. All right, good. All right, so before I play that video, let me just close this. I want to go here. Okay, we were here. Shout out to all of you that was here last night, hanging out with me and my father. MTRs, all the MTRs out there, you need to go and watch this video. Okay, the truth is a function of time, not your mouth, your masculine mouth. The truth is a function of time. When a person has been married to the person that he's been with for 53 years, for 45 years, they've been married for 45 years, then maybe you can learn one or two things. Okay, maybe. Okay, the idea is not to take what they say as gospel religion truth. It's just to listen out for insights in between. The truth is actually somewhere in between, right? You might want to go watch this video, because I'm telling you right now, MTR, stay away from marriage with that mindset. Okay, stay away from marriage. It's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, he's so obsessed with sister code. He lost his leverage. He was emasculated. He is domesticated so much. That's essentially the same sentences. They're just repeating the same thing. It's their action. The common denominator is that's them. It's something about them, you know. So is he marrying himself? You should stay away from marriage. That's all I know, because it's not going to work. I don't understand why DOS, descendants of slaves, are demanding obedience. Make it make sense. Our brothers are following them. They are demanding obedience. People that don't get obedience, they demand obedience. They perpetuate their troubles. It gets worse. Okay, so our brothers are there following them. Just in case you don't know, okay, some of them are going to end up at a wedding with somebody, and he's going to be like, I remember this moment. And then he's going to get home to the honeymoon. He's going to overreact. Instead of doing kerewa, he's going to be overreacting to a stupid word. Obey. Ola, you said stupid word. Don't you care about marriage? You're a mumu man. I've been doing it for 16 years. But anyway, but yeah, he's going to overreact. And his actions will speak louder than words all the time, 100% of the time. Take it from me, okay? Toby says, who broke this guy's heart? Please, let's go. Let's go. I beg. I am tired. Let me play this video that my father said. This is one moment yesterday that he said something with respect to it. I'm going to just play it.
Oh, where you come from? Oh, I'm coming. I just support.
Right.
I'm just coming from so.
I stopped by at the car wash.
A woman wants to know where you stop on the road, whom you talk to.
Right.
And these are the things that
she wants
to know everything into more than detail.
Right.
But a man will just say, "Oh, I'm just coming from. That is it." Anything you want to say after that.
Right.
A woman wants to continue to talk and talk and talk and talk.
Right.
So, if I started reacting to what my wife is doing that time,
you won't be able to course correct properly, because then you will react, and then she will react, and then
before you know, we'll probably not be together today.
Yes. So, all right, precisely why I said stay away from marriage, my brother. That mindset is not just content. Stop the cap. Okay, that's not. I know. Oh, it's just content. No, don't take it for real.
Stop the cap.
Cap is real. You show up, you tell on yourself every time the way you are. Your outlook on life, especially if you've used that same rhetoric to build 500,000 successful platform, I might add. Congratulations. I'm looking to build something similar. But it's real. It's you. The common denominator is you. So I'm going to play this. We're going to end with this. I'm going to play with this. Let me know once you're tired of it. Once you realize, you just tell me in the chat. I'm just going to play it. Once you realize it's the same BS, just let me know, and then I'll stop it, and then I'll round off for the night.
Masculine duties and obligations, but you will not uphold all of your feminine duties and obligations. Huh? You talk all of this shit until you need it. See, when you're safe, you're provided for, and you're comfortable. Fuck, man. Stop fucking these weird ass women. Stop it. I want to have this marriage conversation because I was taking a look at the comments of the video that I just uploaded. And to watch
A modern woman today, in front of millions, in front of her friends, in front of her family, in front of his friends, in front of his family, at the point that she said the word, or the pastor said the word obey, and she stopped the entire ceremony to disrespect him.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
Okay, guys, I tried drinking a greens powder every day for a month, and here's...
This deserves a conversation if I didn't ever had a conversation before, because y'all women tell us that we're not a man, we're not mature, we've elevated to nothing in life until we get married and we have a family. But y'all consistently demonstrate Keke Palmer. Y'all consistently and relentlessly demonstrate Keke Palmer.
Don't forget, let me know when you're
Every time
tired.
that we see a video just like that, there's a math equation and the formula of men saying, see ya. Like, see ya. Wouldn't want to be here. I'm out of here. Because you wear this degree of competitiveness within your ego like a badge of motherfucking honor. And to be honest with you, it's disgusting.
Yes, Chinye, absolutely.
It's disgusting. All of, now let me, this is where I always take a quick pause. All of my beautiful, feminine, inspirational, delectable.
Wait, they exist?
Women that are out there, black women that are out there.
Is he confused or something? Those people exist. Chinye Ola, would you like to have a conversation with this goathead? If I'm invited, I'm not engaging in a conversation with a person that has made up their mind. And that's my typical practice. If you're not asking questions, if you're not interested in the conversation, if you're not, the question could be asking to help, or asking for clarity, or asking for just my take on issues. If it's a question, if it's an open-ended question, if it's just yes or no questions, I'm not interested. If it's open-ended question, a discussion, insight, from a place of respect, I'm always open to it. People learn, I would even argue that people learn more from that. When you engage people of opposite perspectives, people actually learn more from that than just listen to just one end, right? So I would even argue for that, you know. But no, I'm not engaged in unnecessary red pill debate, you know, just because. I'm not interested if it's just like, no, I'm not begging him to have a conversation with him. If he's open and he's open, I'm open to it as just gentlemen. Absolutely. Yep. Let's continue. But wait. The pastor clearly has a good sense of humor. It might even be pre-planned. Who knows? They might have practiced it, and the same moment came up over time. They laugh all the time. I laughed every time I saw that. When he said, yes, we did talk about that. I laughed every time I saw that. It was funny. But of course, weirdos don't find anything funny these days. It's lame behavior. When a woman feels safe and knows the man has her best interest at heart, obeying, following is, yeah, that's like automatic. She's marrying him. That's the fact that we know. We don't know anything else about these people except that this woman is submitting her life to this man. And it still wasn't enough. So I keep telling you, if people have made up their mind, don't sit down there and be trying to convince them. Just take it in as another opinion. We all have one. It's just like the asshole. Okay. All right, let's continue. Rounding up.
The ones that look at videos like that and say, that's not me, MTR. That's not my cloth. I'm not made from whatever the hell that they are made from. I cast doubt on thoughts and 304s like this. You already know I love y'all. I'm not talking about y'all. But I need you.
Yes, you are. You're talking about all of them. You're talking about all of them. even if it's not really them, you can't see anything else. You're talking about all of them. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Okay. I don't believe you, that's all. I don't believe you. She said this is the type that will call you a dump or pandering to women. Precisely why he would need to ask me. It needs to be asking questions, like a conversation. Because he already called himself a simp earlier. And I said, oh, well, there you go. He's a simp. So he needs to call other people a simp. So he probably will be in that zone where he needs to call somebody a simp. But if he's open, I think MTR is actually open. I've seen enough of his content that I know he seems open, you know. But that's why I actually think this is real for him. This is coming from a particular types of experience. So if it's that case, I'm open. But no. And there are other reasons why he might not be open to a conversation with me. He has a much larger, his platform is 200 times larger than ours here. So there's no real incentive for him to engage a smaller audience, especially when he doesn't believe in what I'm saying. So I'm talking to my people. Simp. Oh yeah. The simps they can't wait to call another person a simp. It is what it is. But I know what they mean when they say that. Misery loves company.
You guys to rally. You understand me? I need you guys to rally. Because listen, RIP to Kevin Samuels. He talked about the importance of family. The importance of building a lineage. Tell me, how can a man with a woman at the altar who would not agree to obey, what type of lineage would he be able to build? Don't worry, I'll fucking wait. What type of lineage could he ever build with a tyrant like her?
Tyrant, leverage.
She's not even the leader of his own house.
Screw communications.
How?
Screw talking as an adult. Tyrant, leverage. This wala, don't you think that this guy, do you think this guy is giving himself wala?
Nigeria don't report so I to go our call.
I'm gonna ask the women that are watching this right now, why should men get married? Call in right now and I'll bring you up. Let's have a conversation. Why should modern men today get married? Shout out to the chat. Y'all going crazy as well as y'all should. Share this with all y'all friends.
I can actually answer that question. What he's describing as modern men today now wanting to get married should not get married. They should stay away from marriage. They are still the minority. Take it from me. Don't you for a second think that the whole world is full of these people, whatever he's calling modern men, okay? There are enough of them, but trust me, okay? Don't over worry about this. There might be trait elements. Most men will actually hear something that makes sense, like, yeah, I agree with that. The other one will be like, okay, you're too much. Especially running around calling women 304s. Every woman you see, just call it. That's not typical. Most men are not interested in that. It's weird to them, okay? That's why this kind of guy, they are lame. They are generally accepted as lame in society, okay? There's a reason why they're popular, because they're able to use YouTube to gather this echo chamber, right? So don't you for a second worry about it. But my advice to this man is like, there is zero reasons to get married. Stay away from marriage. I know he wasn't asking me because now I'm not a woman, okay? But he needs to stay away from marriage. Could it work? It's not gonna work.
Let's have a conversation. Why should modern men today get married? Because this is what y'all run with. Because y'all grew up with Disney. Y'all grew up with Barbie. And you take this dream-like state with you
Disney,
into the goddamn
Hollywood,
future as if to think
Nollywood,
that you require men today to uphold all of their masculine duties and obligations, but you will not uphold your feminine duties and obligations.
Masculine uphold. This guy, somebody getting water. You now upload 304. Reverse it upside down. What does it look like in letters? That's what it's for. You will not upload. MTR seems frustrated. Look at the mouth. He's frustrated. Oh Lord. Oh, Shinilano. So it's a master-slave parent-child relationship, not a marriage, right? There's some who was asking. Was it Toby? Toby, were you asking what was his idea of marriage? I think Chinye is answering your questions there, right there. Help me ask her. So do you understand what 304 is now? You turn it upside down and then turn it to letters. Olosho in English. Olosho. Ashawo in English. I see that's very, I see that's very rude. Oh, there you go. So obsessed with add H to it, masculinity. Lord have mercy. All right, that's okay.
Excuse me, you want your cake and you want to eat it too? You want to be modern and you want the man to be traditional. What the fuck? That makes no sense. Tell me, how does that make sense? How? Are y'all crazy? Because rational men today are taking a look at y'all bullshit and saying,
what he meant by rational men is lame men. Yes, I said it. Let me be clear about something for you here. I'm holding my foot down on certain things I'm saying here because I've waited long enough. Since October 2021, so it's about to be 2 years. I've been having these conversations in this space. I've engaged some of them. And some of them have cut themselves. Some of them have been caught up in the webs of Uncle Pearl and them, the grifters. And they are course correcting. He was one of the people that had to course correct because he was basically simping to Uncle Pearl in London until he collect. You know, and that relationship is in the mud today, right? So let me be clear about something. I'm going to give you some numbers right now. I'm going into my audience and my analytics. I'm going to be clear about something because men and women, you both control the market, the dating market. But your own world, your own market itself as an individual, you control that. You're the common denominator. You control that 100% of the time. So I'm going to give you some data here. Okay. This platform, we have, let me see, subscribers. I'm going to tell you the gender. Okay. The gender population, 88% female. I'm being transparent with you. Okay. I have a few brothers here that come in here. 11%. Okay. So 11% of about 3,000. Okay. 11 times 3. 33. 300. Is that 330? That's more than enough brothers listening to what I'm saying. So I want to say shout out to you if you're still plugged into what we're doing as a brother here. You're going to be, it's like a church, right? It's usually mostly women and, you know, and then you know what it looks like in your church back in the days, right? But to me, it seems like more women are open, are more accountable. At least, even if their mouth says something else, when it comes to when they're talking, when a woman is engaged in a romantic relationship with you, no, you're stupid to be asking for accountability. She's caught up in a web of emotions. You're not holding yourself accountable as the leader in that situation. So it's stupid, ultimately, okay? You need to at least be able to calm situation and de-escalate before you start getting too serious. And if you can't do that, you deserve all of the woto you collect from that situation because you're not competent, obviously. Okay? Those are the numbers right there. Okay? 11% and 88%. No, sorry, let me see. Let me look at it closer. I think, yeah, I did. 88% female, 11% male. Okay? So now, for those of you women, ladies that are here, let me tell you something. What you enable will continue, will perpetuate, will continue. Okay? If a man is showing up a certain type of way, if you don't continue to engage it or continue to appease nonsense like this young lady was doing, they will correct. Men understand enough to hold themselves accountable and correct when they're not The men that you're looking for, they will correct. They will course correct and they will fix themselves. Even if it means they have to hire a coach. Something is wrong. My result is not what it's supposed to be. I'm 38 years old. I would like to be married. They can face that. Real men can face that squarely in their face without trying to shame another group of people and say it's not working. And they will assume coaching. And if you really like them, you say, hey, I like you, but you said a couple of things. Shayo, I see you. How you doing? So it's a couple of things, right? And then you be like, okay. But I think we should engage coaching. We should engage counsel. We need counseling. If he likes you enough, he'll be open to that. Okay. Somebody's like, wait, so give ultimatums? No, it's something you're supposed to do anyway. Okay. If it's that bad that we have to call it ultimatum, you should completely back off of it because it's not going to work. Okay. So it actually doesn't matter. It's just data. We can see what's going on here. Somebody could say, oh, I'm looking at that, so I'm pandering to women. No, I just said it to you. Shout out to all my brothers. About 300 plus of you that you come here from time to time. The gracious greatness and them, right? Brother Patrick, of course. Shout out to all of you. There's obvious reasons why you are who you are, right? There's obvious reasons why you engage this platform, right? But I need you. I need you more and more so that we can continue to help course correct because it's not looking too good. Why? The result we have today is the product of the status of men and their competency. It's as simple as that. Okay? If women say, hey, we don't feel safe and secure, we're going the other direction. That's just how it's always been. That's not a modern thing. It's always been that way. Women have always gravitated to the most powerful, the person that can protect them and their children. It's always been that way. You didn't know? Oh, you did not know that. Oh, that's why you're barking all over the internet. You guys were just listening to me. You're not seeing my face. It's okay. Let me complete this. This is a good one, by the way. This is a very, very good session. Okay? So make sure you're sharing once we're done in a few minutes.
I'm going to DR. But tell me,
he's going to
why
DR.
should men get married today? Please. I want to know.
I just read something shocking. The average person spends
I should
up
see
to
this
a
coming
third
now.
of their life.
Anytime I pause for too long.
I wish that I had a concrete answer as to why we should get married. The only positive that I see.
No, listen, you should not get married. And if you go and try to get married in DR, I guarantee it. It's gonna be bad. Don't do it. Don't do it.
See, maybe two. The only positive that I can see is that if
you can go to DR and go and connect with some 304s out there, go and spend your 6-figure income over there, they will take it. They will gladly take it. In fact, they might take a green card from you too. Okay? They will gladly take it. Okay? They'll be happy. It's an opportunity of a lifetime for some of those. That's not necessarily a bad thing too. 304s. I'm trying to think that through. Don't try to do long-term relationship with anybody. Sorry, don't do it. You're better off being alone. Buy a dog and die alone.
forces y'all to stay together, or there are going to be financial repercussions because you're so irrational and I just want to just go somewhere else as opposed to deal with your crazy ass bullshit, that it allows us to continue to raise the children. But then, you know, raising children in hell doesn't do much better than if the children was not raised in hell with a single parent. You understand what I'm saying? But then also, I would say in terms of reducing risk by dealing with shifty or flighty women, it has an opportunity to do that as well. It's an opportunity to do that as well. So I understand like those 2 points. But outside of that, why? Tell us why. Because when we watch
wait. Let me go back. Cause that
at the wedding, well, doesn't do much better than if the children was not raised in hell with a single parent. You understand what I'm saying? But then also, I would say in terms of reducing risk by dealing with shifty or flighty women, it has an opportunity to do that as well. It's an opportunity to do that as well. So I understand like those 2 points. But outside,
you're not sure. Don't do marriage, my brother. Don't do marriage. Stay away from marriage. There are more than enough men that will listen. If I have just a 3,700 platform here, more than 300 men are here and they're engaging this content, my mind tells me that we're just going to be fine. Not everybody needs to be married. That's a fact of life.
Out of that, why? Tell us why. Because when we watch videos at the wedding, a complete and utter embarrassment, not only to her and her family, not only to him and his family.
He's afraid this might happen to him one day.
But an embarrassment to the church. And I'm not even like an ultra religious guy like that, but I read that portion of the Bible that said, obey your husband, obey your leader, obey your protector. But you want us to uphold the masculine qualities, but you're not going to uphold the feminine? Huh? So you're telling me, modern woman, you telling me, I hope you, huh? So you're telling me, modern woman, you telling feminine? Huh?
Oh my God. Let me see. This guy is actually funny and ignorant at the same time. Yes, I said it. Let's see. Oh, it's a huh? I make faces here too. Somebody's gonna react to me one day and show all my faces I make. Huh? His character will follow him. It's like your shadow. Your character follow you everywhere you go. Kilimanjaro self. That's a fact, Toby. Chidima said, Ola, I've never seen you go this hard against red pill man. Maybe in the middle of your 7 hours videos. Oh, you have to listen long enough. Yeah, you have to listen long enough. I understand red pill. The red pill men, they are blue pill. Literally, they are simps. They are soft men, weak men. Okay, and they are literally, in reality, blue pill men. They are literally engaged with fantasy and they're having a hard time facing reality. That's really the issue. Okay, the reality is that men or women are not the same, and that's designed that way. It's a beautiful thing that it is that way. None is higher than the other. They complement each other. It's about understanding the roles with respect to social construct, with respect to emotional intelligence. And if you're having a hard time understanding that, you will find yourself in this with your mouth open in the internet like this. It's confusing. That's a person that's confused, especially if they're 38 and not yet married, and they're wondering why, and they're still telling themselves that they get to walk away, but they're not walking because they're engaged in the conversation. It's confusion, right? So no, you haven't listened long enough. That's why they don't like me, particularly for this reason. So because I actually tell them the truth, and the truth is not the truth I'm saying. The result matches what I'm saying, and they don't like that. So, but it's true. The same way I push against overly toxic feminism rhetorics, it's the same way I push against them. They're not healthy for romantic relationships. They don't belong there. They belong in the workplace, in society, equal rights for everybody, not in romantic relationships. No one wants that in a romantic relationship. Somebody was saying that earlier. You want to actually feel safe and secure in a romantic relationship. You don't want to be overthinking or competing with each other. That's not what you go in there to do, you know. But let me continue. Let's see. We're almost done.
So you're telling me, modern woman, you telling me, I hope you are calling in right now because we got to have a conversation. You are telling me that at 1 o'clock in the morning, if we hear a bump in the night and there was someone downstairs that is coming in to rob, steal, pillage, and loot, I'm expected to die for you. I'm expected to die for you. To die for you. You stay up here, honey. I'm going downstairs. I'm a Second Amendment holder, so I'm going to go downstairs looking like Yosemite Sam. What's up? I'm expected to die for you. But at my wedding, you can't say you will obey me? Huh? Excuse me? Excuse me? You want leaders? You want protectors?
They do.
You want a guy to lead you to the promised land and back?
They do.
And you get it, so you accept
him getting on one knee, but
if you are looking to get your first 1,000 followers on Pinterest or to grow your current following.
Some of the confusion in all of this, okay? Some of the confusion in all of this is that the women he's talking to, they're not even admitting that they want a leader. They're saying, I want partner. F you with your leadership nonsense. And guess what he does when they said they don't want leader, they want partner. It's like, see, these are the problems. These are the problems. These are the problems. Confusion. You are all confused, okay? Shout out to all of you ladies listening to me. If you come here to listen to a man, clearly you're not looking for an echo chamber. You're looking to learn. It's obvious. It's obvious. And shout out to you. I appreciate you, okay?
The point of the marriage, you won't say obey, but meanwhile me, I have to die for you?
Dude, you're not dying for anybody. You're not marrying anybody. Is it confused? You didn't marry anybody at 38. You're not dying for anybody. What kind of confusion is this? Right? Again, shout out to you ladies, because I know I've said a few things here that you will read in between. You will hear it small. You're like, that's offensive right there, but it's still saying something. And I know that it triggers you, but you still stay around because you know that there's more to any one line at any point in time. Shout out to you just as much as shout out to those brothers. Let's continue. See the mouth again.
What's so crazy about that whole shit that I put on my page? Irrespective of her disrespect, he's expected to die for her. He's expected to die for her. Any
this video is demonetized.
Exactly what it is, what I'm talking about. And it's the same thing with y'all children as well. We're expected to die. If a guy comes in,
how do you say Ojebi in English?
A person that wants to do harm to your family comes in, and the person says, either I kill the guy or I kill the wife and the kids. The guy, we have
the extremes. Is it making sense why he's not married at 38? He's scared shitless. He's afraid that something is going to come in and create the worst case scenario. He's literally afraid. He's very, very scared. He's afraid. It's making sense. It's all of the worst case scenario. The minority of events that are happening right now today. I actually saw an accident today on the highway. But for that one accident that I saw, there were literally hundreds of thousands of cars that will go through that place. The accident is the minority. Because if accident is happening every second, it will be a war zone. But the only thing he can see is accident, so he will not leave his house. He's afraid of leaving his house. This is the way it works in real life, my brothers and sisters. You need to put yourself out there. You don't really have a choice. The only thing you'll be doing is putting yourself on hold for no reason if you are afraid. If you are an MTR, you've made up your mind, please stay away from marriage. We need you to be wholesome the way you are and be happy. Thank you, Jerry. Before Uncle, because he said he would die for his children. Real men, it's a natural desire. They're in a position to be able to die for their family. It's not stuff that they say over and over with masculine voice. They actually get out there, put themselves out there in a position where they have no other choice. And they love it. It makes them feel fulfilled. They don't whine and bitch about it all day long on the internet. That doesn't, see, what makes you a real man, MTR, is to be content in your singlehood and say, I just want to do that. It's not my cup of tea. And keep it moving. I can respect that better. It's better than to be complaining about something that you don't want. It doesn't make sense. From where I'm from, that doesn't make sense. Okay, it makes sense because you're making a lot of money on doing this. Okay, so you're creating content. But this is real for you. And all of your followers, right? This is real, and you need to check that. Please stay away from marriage. Please do yourself and somebody a favor. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're better off flying around the world. They will allow you to put your dog inside a case and you put it inside, The planes, you can afford it. You're making good money online now. Just go to DR, go to Africa, Mozambique, go to, Cyprus Island. Go to the islands. Just, you can work from anywhere in the world. You don't have to worry about dying for anybody. This is nothing you have to worry about.
We have to sacrifice ourselves. We have to fight to the end to ensure your safety. Huh? I'm looking at some of the comments. Some say it's not that serious. What the fuck do you mean it's not that?
It is not. Listen, that person is wrong. Whoever just said that is wrong. It is that serious for MTR alone and all of his followers. Okay, don't get it twisted. Believe him. Okay, ladies, believe him. Don't try to sell him on your stupid idea to come and marry you. Kole work. Believe him. It is that deep for him. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that deep. But he doesn't get that. And he's made up his mind. He's not going to get that. Don't waste your energy. Unless you're creating content like me. Right? Or like him, right? Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. Especially ladies. Don't do that. Your energy will be drained. It's not worth it.
Don't live in reality. Women don't live in the same reality that men live in.
We've always known that. But he didn't know that. He's just discovering that. Red pill in the poto. He just found out that women live in a different reality than men. That is so confusing. He's confused, like the rest of them.
Women live in a reality where they can slap guys and just walk the fuck away. Guys don't live in that reality. No.
First, my reality, I don't have women in my reality that walk around to slap guys and walk away. I'm guessing maybe that's his reality. Again, I don't get to argue with him, right? But let's continue. Maybe that's why he said, be angry.
We live in a reality where violence is real. Combat is super real.
Okay, in my reality, men don't just walk around and do combat either. Okay, it's a possibility. It's a possibility we're also prepared for, we're ready for, if we need to protect our family. But typically that doesn't really happen. Not really. You're not sitting on the internet in a car. Right? Internet speed, internet fast. And then you worry about a combat happen right now. This is what we call capping big time. Oh, by the way, it's a talking point. Everything he's saying is a talking point.
Stop the cap.
What he's saying, he's living in a la-la land. It's
Y'all talk all this shit until you need men.
Okay, yeah, men do go to the military, right? Men can be summoned to military, but how likely is that in 2023 if you live in the Western world? I'm waiting. This is what I'm saying, right? He just discovered that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Yep, continue. Right? He just discovered something new. That's what they call the rage. He will consider himself is out of the rage, but are you?
Stop the cap.
Nah. He's in so much rage. He's asking the young lady, be angry. Be angry? Jesus Christ. What do you mean?
You talk all of this shit until you need her. See, when you're safe, you're provided for, and you're comfortable, fuck men. But when you need help,
tantrums.
All of a sudden it becomes real.
Yeah,
so anyway,
my
question is, why should men get married when this is the mantra of today? When Kiki Palmer is the mantra of the modern woman today, it is a goddamn problem.
So ladies, let me teach you something. If a man comes to you and say, why should men get married? Ask him back. Say, yes, why should you get married? Why do you want to get married? Ask him. No, I asked you the question first. I know, but I'm not really a man. But I'm just curious now. Why do you want to get married? Ask him that question. Ask it right back to him. It's a weak man, not MTR in particular. Just in case you're on a date and somebody does that. That's a person that's not sure of themselves. Ask them back. Say, why do you want to get married? And let's see how he handles that. Okay? Don't do anything until he answers that question. Just throw it right back at him. Why? Why? Yeah, why? Okay? The honest answer that you have at the back of your mind already is that that person that's asking that question should not be getting married. Okay? But clearly they don't know that. They're confused. Ask them, why do you want to get married? Okay. Now, by that moment you're asking that question, you're already in the masculine zone. You're leading. Okay? So just call it what it is. It's probably not going to lead anywhere. Okay? Maybe not. Maybe he will pass the test. Maybe we'll just smile and chuckle. Maybe he's been listening to this and he'll be like, that's interesting. I am serious about marriage. I was just wondering if you were. I was just curious. If he flips it and he's able, if he has enough game to flip it on you and say, I was just curious. So how was your day going? And he flips it and he disengages from all that serious stupid talking point, and he engages. Let's have some good time. Then he passed. Then you can continue. Okay, but you should throw that back at him. Okay. He will probably go through the rabbit hole. He'll probably get angry. Be angry, masculine.
It is a goddamn problem. Kiki? Huh? You don't need no man.
He's angry with Kiki's boyfriend too. Wow.
And he is all that you need. I'm 38 years old. I have a lot of things going for me.
I know. That's why you should not get married. Don't do it, bro. It's too much to lose.
See the rush.
Because you will marry a person that will take half of it. Allah, I swear. They will take half of everything. If you try it. If you try go near marriage, she will take everything and she will justify it because you would have dragged her through the mud at that point in time. You would have called her 304. Not necessarily directly, because I see you being slick there. You know, my modern women who are feminine, blah, blah. But then you call all black women 304. And you'd expect a woman to not relate with that and respond like you just called her a 304. You have no idea what's coming for you. Don't you dare go near marriage. If you are one of those MTRs out there, if you are an APC bishop, an Ekene, MTR, please enjoy your soft life jejely. Stay single. We'll figure the rest out later.
What should the rush be?
None.
When this is the mantra, this is the echo chambers that y'all live in. Let me also say this as well.
You don't have to rush.
I have no sympathy for that guy because you chose her. You guys know how many damn emails that I get of men at the end of their rope, ready to end their life because of the way that their life
Not only does he not have sympathy for that guy, they can't relate. That guy has a whole woman, a whole human being submitting her life to him. That's not your mate, bro. Stay in your lane. That is a big deal. That is a big deal. Just stay in your lane. So, no, you can't sympathize. You can't empathize either. You've never been in his shoes. And I'm advising, don't go in his shoes. It won't work. You see that guy is smiling from ears to ears, and all you can see is an angry man. That man was clearly smiling from ears to ears. Look at this. Do you not see this? And all you can see is an angry man. All you can see is Kiki Palmer's husband. That one moment, which I think they probably will get back together. Because again, having a baby with a person and making a woman submit her body to you is nobody's mate either, especially if they're together. Because no matter how much we try to drag him, he still managed to bag that at the end of the day. On a consistent commitment, they had issues, obviously. Yeah, stay in your lane. Don't be having conversations that you don't belong in. Talk about computers or something. Talk about mediocre tutorials and something. You're supposed to be reviewing computers and softwares. What you talk about relationships for? Oh, I forgot. It's probably because it's personal. But you won't tell us the rest of the story, would you? Would you ever tell us the rest of the story? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing not.
Turned out because they chose a tyrant, because they chose Majin Buu.
He chose a tyrant.
It's unbelievable.
He made a tyrant submit
That's why I
to
tell you guys
him.
all day. One of the most important decisions that you'll ever make in your life is who you choose to lay next to you.
Which is why you're 38 and not married. See, somebody say I'm shaming him now. No, I'm not shaming you. It's just you're running your mouth a lot, right? You're afraid. Just say it. I'm scared shitless. There's somebody who will take my heart out of my chest, put it on the ground and stomp it. Chances are they've done that already. You're afraid it will repeat itself again. I get it. It's easier, right? Don't get married. This was the advert. This is the first thing I saw on the Instagram page. It's supposed to say, don't get married. I was like, you're right. I don't have to do 1 hour session to tell you not to get married. I could have told you that. Don't get married. Don't do it. Don't do that. But I get it. You're creating content. Me too.
You wake up every single morning. It's one of the most important decisions that you will ever make within your life. Stop giving these modern ass, don't need no man women with their goddamn daddy issues reprieve. Like you can fix these 304s. That. Raise the standards. Stop fucking these weird ass women. Stop it.
Raise the standards.
Stop.
Standards.
Fries,
Oh,
sauces, chicken, biscuits.
if you're looking for warfare,
Finger like it good. How high is the interest
let's
rate?
see. If you're looking for what fear looks like, you're looking at it. Okay. As opposed to faith. If you're ever wondering what fear looks like, you're looking at it. Okay. Fear, as much as it looks like a good motivator, it will help you protect yourself. It does come off that way. I can understand why it seems that way. Oftentimes, you just end up, when it comes to emotional, romantic issues, you just end up creating what you fear the most. Okay? That's what ends up happening. Chidema says, acting like he's Kiki's boyfriend or the groom in the video. Kilo de cry more than the bereaved. Oh, serious. On your way out, this was a long session. I'm sure many people will catch up in the morning. I understand what we're doing here now, that even if, you know, people have to go to sleep up in Europe and stuff like that, they'll still catch up in the morning. So I'm just very appreciative of having you as an audience, because it helps us spread the word even more. Okay, so I want to say thank you for being here today as usual. All right. Tomorrow is Sunday, right? All right, we'll see. I might take a break tomorrow, but I'm dropping videos tomorrow, so just be on the lookout for those videos. Thank you so much. What a beautiful day for me. I wasn't thinking about it when I came up to wear this today, dad and daughter. You know, some people, you just have to pepper them a little bit, especially when they run their mouth on the internet, because if you don't do that, sometimes they see you as weak. And oftentimes, some of my colleagues, some of my contemporaries, some of the people that are doing this the right way, they're not content creators. They don't have time to be jumping on the internet and be defending everything. They don't have time for that, okay? But as soon as I catch some of them, I'm trying to get better with my interview. You notice that yesterday I was so excited. It might seem I'm talking over my dad a little bit, but I was just excited, right? I will try to bring more people so I can get better with that type of content as well. You know, but I want to bring some good examples, you know, so that we can push hard against some of the worst case scenario examples that we have out there. All right, so do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Don't forget, if you're not yet, if you didn't get the book yet, go get the book at loveandprestige.com. All right. Yeah, hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.